Our desperate MC wakes with a gasp, totally bewildered. Huh? She thinks before letting out a blood-curdling scream. Wait a minute, someone's holding her. She looks up and realizes she's being carried by a strange man, and a whole squad of tall, handsome dudes in suits are staring at her. Who are all these people? Suddenly, a menacing shadow falls over her. A man with hair as dark as night and an icy gaze in close, his voice a low growl. Cry again and I'll throw you out. Our little nugget flinches, stammering a tiny "oh, okay." She's completely terrified, her cheeks puffed out like a little hamster's. This is so scary. The man who brought her quickly explains, "That's right, Mr. Longchen. She's your real daughter. Here, this is her mother's keepsake." Our poor heroine is spinning. My mom? Who is that? And then it hits her like a truck. Wait, then? That's the name of the villain family from the novel she just read. A heart-wrenching realization crashes down on her. Don't tell me. Meanwhile, the kidnapper keeps talking, explaining how he overheard the story of a lost child and thought he could cash in by reuniting them. What a slimeball. The villain daddy, Longchen, doesn't look convinced. He grabs one of our girl's adorable pigtails, his voice dangerously smooth. What's her mother's name? The kidnapper enters full-on panic mode. His eyes dart back and forth as he realizes, crap, I didn't get to ask for that woman's name. He starts sweating bullets, babbling, "Mr. Longchen, please hear me out. I did steal this child, but the mother of this child did say it belonged to you. I'm not lying." But one look at Longchen's murderous aura, and the guy knows it's over. He seems to be in a foul mood. He thinks, I need to get out of here. He decides to make a run for it. Longchen doesn't even move. He just gives a subtle, icy glance to one of his men. The subordinate, a cool customer in sunglasses, simply says "understood" into his phone, and just like that, the kidnapper is caught by a butler, screaming for mercy. The subordinate just sneers. How dare you try to deceive Mr. Longchen? Serves you right. Our little nugget is so scared she can only let out a tiny hic, and then espilad. A spray of blood hits the polished floor. It's absolutely brutal. The shock is so intense, our girl literally turns into a boneless puddle of terror on the ground. She scrambles behind a curtain, hiccuping and sobbing, tears streaming down her face. He has a gun too. If I step out, will he shoot me? But as she sees one of the men walking away, survival instinct kicks in. No, I have to find a way to survive. In a mad dash, she launches herself at the villain's leg, clinging on for dear life. She turns on the waterworks and unleashes her ultimate weapon. Giant, sparkling dog eyes. Daddy, please don't kick me out. Tao Tao doesn't want to leave you. I don't want to be an orphan. But his voice is pure frost. Get away from me, you little liar. He tries to step away to shake her off, but she won't let go. Then the most unexpected thing happens. He swoops down and actually picks her up. She media buries face in his shoulder, sobbing, her mind racing. Did my bluff work? What if he was telling the truth about my last name? His expression, a cold mask. If you are my daughter, I'll let you stay. He murmurs, if you're lying to me. A slow, sinister smirk spreads across his face. You're dead, brat. She trembles, turning to stone from pure fear. Okay, Daddy, she whispers. He hands her off to the butler. Take her to rest. Later, she's tucked into a bed so big and fluffy it could swallow her whole. But she can't rest. Panic is setting in. She remembers the novel. Clearly, the villain Longchen never had a daughter. Crap, that probably means I'm not his real kid. She has to escape. With a grunt, this little nugget scrambles out of the enormous bed. She peers down a dizzying grand staircase. I'm dead meat. This house is way too big. I'm gonna drop dead. She tiptoes down the stairs, past a wall of menacing family portraits that seem to watch her every move. This place is cursed. Then she spots it, the exit. There are no guards. Freedom is within reach. But just as she's about to make a break for it, a sharp voice snaps. Stop right there. Startled, she trips and goes down hard. Ow! A shadow looms over her. She looks up, trembling, into the face of a young boy with silver hair, his figure lit by the full moon. Who the heck are you? He demands. The boy stands over her, demanding again, who are you? Her eyes widen in recognition. It's him. The third son from the portrait. He gets right in her face, practically spitting with anger. Say something. Cat got your tongue? Our girl is completely frozen, her brain screaming, save me, brain, save me. Think fast. She just lets out a terrified squeak as he lunges at her. Suddenly, a calm voice cut in. What are you doing here? It's the butler. Her savior. He gently scoops her up, and she melts with relief. A true family member just showed up. She gives him a dazzling, teary-eyed smile. The silver-haired boy points an accusing finger. Butler, who is she? The butler, holding our girl securely, explains the situation to the young master. Someone brought this child here, claiming she's the master's youngest daughter. We're currently awaiting the test results. He then whisks her away, telling the boy to get some rest. The young master is left standing there, completely bewildered. Father's daughter. He trembles, his fists clenched. The kind butler tucks our heroine back into bed, patting her gently. Thank you, Uncle Butler, she whispers, her eyes fluttering shut. The butler can't help but swoon. Ah, little miss is so adorable. He quietly closes the door. But the moment he's gone, her eyes snap open. She sits bolt upright, a look of fierce determination on her face. I can't stay here and become one of them. She makes another run for it, but the reality of her prison sinks in. The estate is a sprawling labyrinth under the full moon. I'm so exhausted. Just how big is this place? She trips and falls onto the cold stone path. Lying there, she stares up at the vast starry sky, feeling utterly alone. She pushes herself up and sees a beautiful, temple-like structure in the distance. It's no use. The mansion looms behind her like a giant beast. There's no way out of here at all. The crushing despair finally hits and she breaks down, whimpering and crying. Hugging her tiny knees, she sobs, "Why is my life so miserable?" She remembers her past life as an overworked orphan, only to be transmigrated into a villain family where they already want her dead. But through the tears, a new resolve forms. With this tiny body, I'll never make it out. Besides, even if I do, I'll probably starve to death. She clenches her little fists, determination shining in her teary eyes. It's better to cozy up to villain daddy and build a little nest egg. Once the time is right, I'll leave this hellhole. The next morning, our girl is on a mission. Dressed in the most adorable little apron, she's ready for action. Yeah, she giggles, standing in the enormous kitchen. To win hearts, you gotta start with the stomach. Let's conquer them with food. She remembers from her past life that she's a pretty good cook. Using a series of stools to reach the counter, she gets to work, a look of intense concentration on her face. It's a chaotic but adorable sight. She decides to make sandwiches, or rather pancakes. She's a tiny whirlwind of flipping bacon and popping toast. Mission complete, she cheers, placing a cherry on a perfect stack of pancakes. Just then, a deep voice startles her. "What are you doing?" It's him, the villain daddy, standing in the doorway with his grumpy-looking silver-haired son. He looks down at her. The boy immediately snaps. "Shut up, Artie." But our girl beams, holding up the plate. "I made breakfast for everyone. Come eat." She proudly presents her creation. The father looks down, a flicker of curiosity in his, "You made this?" The little brother just scoffs. "It's just a sandwich. It's not like I haven't had one before." The father takes a delicate bite with his fork. A moment of silence, and then his expression softens. "Not bad." The little brother's jaw drops. "What?" Our heroine celebrates internally. "Aye, I used lots of secret ingredients," she chirps proudly. The little brother watches, bewildered. Daddy actually praised her? As long as Daddy likes it, she's safe for now. But the boy is practically vibrating with jealousy. No way. I can't let her steal Daddy from me. At the massive dining table, the little brother sulks, staring daggers at his pancake stack. He's clearly starving, but his pride is in the way. Our girl notices his pouting. She leans forward, her eyes sparkling with hope. "Big brother, try some." "It's really tasty." He whips his head away. "I'm not eating it." How good could it be? Anyway. His stomach immediately betrays him with a loud drumbly. He risks a glance at his father, who gives him a subtle, unimpressed side-eye. The jealousy boils over. "So aggrieved," he thinks, stabbing a piece of pancake. "Fine it. Let's see just how." The moment the food hits his tongue, his world explodes. Little cherubs play trumpets around his head. "It's absolutely divine." Our girl smiles. "Well, big brother, do you like it?" He slams his fork down with a loud crash. "It's disgusting," he shouts, his face bright red. Our poor heroine flinches, completely shocked by his chaotic tsundere energy. The father's voice cuts through the air, sharp and icy. "Who taught you to throw things like that?" The boy freezes, hiccuping in fear. He's been scolded. Our girl actually feels a little bad for him. This villain's dad is way too strict, she thinks. She tries to be the bigger person. "Then, what you want to eat, big brother? I can make it for you next time." But the father sees right through her act. "Don't think I don't know what you're up to." He leans down, his voice a low threat. "You're just trying to sup to me so you can stay, right?" She frantically denies it. "That's not it, Daddy. I just really like cooking." But he's not listening. "The test results are coming soon. If you're lying to me, you know what'll happen." He gives her a chilling, menacing smile. She's been completely KO'd. "I understand, Daddy." She's breaking into a nervous sweat. It's going to be even harder to escape now. The little brother watches them, fuming. Daddy never smiles and chats with him like that. Trying to win back some attention, he blurts out, "Daddy, my school sports tomorrow. I'm in Vents. Can you come watch me compete?" The father's response is swift and brutal. "I'm very busy." Ouch. A direct hit to the heart. But our girl's eyes light up. An idea is forming. A sports day. Lots of people. A crowd to get lost in. Freedom. She seizes the opportunity. "Daddy, I want to go to Big Brother's sports day too. Can you take me?" She looks up at him, her eyes wide and full of hope. He raises an eyebrow. "Why do you want to go?" She puts on her most innocent face. "I've never been to a sports day before, and I want to cheer my big brother on." The little brother is stunned into silence. "What? Cheer me on?" His mind flashes back to all the other competitions he's been in, completely alone, watching other kids get encouragement from their parents. But his pride won't let him show it. I don't need your cheering. I'm amazing all my own, he declares. His cheeks are a little pink. The father smirks. Interesting. He delivers the verdict. Fine, we can go. Our girl is ecstatic. Really? Thank you, Daddy. Escape plan step 1 is a success. The brother leaps to his feet, his face glowing with excitement. Are you really going to come watch me compare? A fire ignites within him. Wait, if Daddy is coming to watch, then I must win first place so Daddy will pay attention to me instead. Sports day arrives and the school is gorgeous, surrounded by cherry blossoms. Our girl waves, practically bouncing with excitement. Ha 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 ha, finally. I'm finally out of that place, she cackles to herself, already tasting freedom. But then, a hand swiftly plucks her from the ground. It's Daddy, of course. He lifts her into his arms. There's a lot of people here, so make sure you don't get lost. She beams up him. Yes, Dad, die, while internally screaming. I want it to get lost, though. The little brother stands nearby, still looking grumpy. Not happy, but his eyes are burning with competitive fire. Today I'm going to show off my skills. He stands at the ready, determined to win. The sports day is in full swing, confetti fluttering through the air, but one little boy with silver hair just looks up, a bit lost in the chaos. He's desperately trying to stick his name tag, his little arms just not long enough to reach. He mumbles to himself, a wave of frustration washing over him. I can't reach it. What should I do? Just then, a dad from the stands helps his own daughter, and the little boy watches them, his eyes filled with a heart-wrenching longing. That must be nice, he whispers, and my heart just shatters for this poor kid. But wait, someone else is watching this whole sad display. Our girl Tao Tao sees everything from the stands, her little browed in concentration. She realizes he can't get his name tag on by himself. She glances over at her own dad, who's just sitting there oozing arrogant elegance, and for a second she's just annoyed with him. But then an absolutely chaotic and adorable idea sparks in her mind. Her face scrunches up as she thinks, this is my chance. She pops up and calls out with all the sweetness she can muster. Third brother, Tao Tao will help you put on your name tag. The boy Longchen Tao, completely bewildered. What is she up to now? He wonders, but he comes over anyway. Our little nugget gets on her tippy toes, stretching with all her might, but it's no use. She's just too tiny. Ah yeah, Tao Tao can't reach. It's too hard to stick it properly, she whines. She starts flailing her arms, making a whole adorable scene of it, and her brother is just standing there, utterly confused by this tiny human's antics. And then she unleashes her master plan. She turns to her stone-cold father, holding out the name tag with the biggest, most pleading eyes you've ever seen. Daddy, can you help brother stick it instead? Come quick! Longchen Tao is absolutely thunderstruck. His eyes go wide, his heart pounding in his chest. She asks Daddy to help. Me? He turns to his father, a fragile, hopeful look on his face, holding out his tag like an offering. For a tense moment, the dad just stares back, silent and unmoving. But then, he actually takes it. He looks at his son and says two simple words. Turn around. The boy flinches, completely stunned. And then it happens. His father gently, carefully places the name tag on his back. Tears instantly well up in the boy's eyes, streaming down his cheeks. Daddy helped me. Maybe she's not so bad after all. From the sidelines, our girl pumps a triumphant fist. Now's my chance. Mission accomplished. She immediately tries to make a break for it. But her dad's voice stops her dead in her tracks. Where are you going? Busted, she immediately starts doing some wild, flailing exercises, claiming she's just warming up to cheer for her brother. After about 2 seconds, she's already exhausted. Her dad smirks, seeing right through her. I thought you were gonna run away, he says, his voice laced with amusement. She switches tactics, activating maximum cuteness. No way, Daddy. Tao Tao would never run away. But Daddy, Tao Tao is tired from exercising and thirsty. Can I have some money to buy a drink? She's already plotting, thinking a little emergency cash never hurts. Her dad, clearly entertained by this little schemer, asks what she wants. Thinking fast, she puts on her most polite face and chirps. Tao Tao wants a sweet strawberry milk. The man doesn't even pull out a wallet. He just snaps his fingers and calls for the butler, who appears out of thin air with the drink. Our girl is shook. Did he teleport? But she's not done yet. She takes a sip and declares it's too sweet. She'd rather have a sour lemonade. And poof! The butler provides. This gives her an idea. She's not giving up her escape plan. Damn it, I'm not giving up. She starts rattling off the most ridiculous list of drinkable. I want banana chocolate milkshake, juicy crystal grapes, golden coconut oolong, Musan King durian fresh juice. And to her absolute horror, the butler brings every single thing. A whole truck full of fruit even materializes out of nowhere. Her jaw hits the floor. This is ruthless. She's utterly defeated, slumping in her seat. I'm doomed. So annoying. Just then, the announcer calls for the match to begin, and her dad swoops in, picking her up. He sets her on his lap, his expression unreadable. enough messing around. Time to watch the match. From down on the field, Longchen Yi sees them together. His expression immediately sours. All the warmth from before vanishes, replaced by an icy jealousy. So all her kindness earlier was just a trick, he thinks, his heart twisting. She's just trying to steal my daddy. His little hands clench into fists, his eyes filled with a menacing glint. Just wait and see. The competition begins and Longchen Yi is on fire. He's determined to win, to prove himself. With every shot of his bow, with every leap over the pole vault, he's thinking one thing. I want daddy's eyes to be fixed on me, and he does it. He wins 2 out of 3 events, standing proudly with his medals gleaming on his chest. He looks up at his father, beaming, and finally gets a nod of acknowledgement. It's not much, but for Longchen Yi, it's everything. Yes, thank you, Daddy. But the joy is ripped away in an instant. His father's voice cuts through the air, cold and sharp. As a child of the Longchen family, you should have taken home 3 gold medals. The words land like a physical blow. The dad's face is a mask of stern disapproval. The boy's smile crumbles. All the light leaves his eyes as he hangs his head, clutching his medals. Yes, sir. Our poor heroine watches from her dad's lap, her heart aching for him. Poor kid. She can't stand it. All he wanted was some praise, she thinks, and decides it's time for Plan B, Operation Escape. She pinches her nose dramatically. Oh, Daddy, my stomach hurts. I need the bathroom. Her dad offers to take her, but she recoils. No, that's gross. Tao can go by herself. She squirms out of his lap, her entire body screaming rejection. As her dad carries her off, Longchen Yi watches, consumed by a dark, simmering rage. Why does she get to hog all the attention? Maybe if she just disappeared, Daddy would finally see me. His eyes narrow. If she just disappears, everything would be fine. As they walk across the school grounds, the dean suddenly appears, inviting Mr. Longchen to an urgent board meeting. This is it. Our girl's eyes sparkle. He's my hero, she thinks. But her dad starts to refuse. Panic mode. This won't do, she cries, grabbing his face and pushing him towards the dean. She goes into full-on flattery mode, telling him how handsome he is when he's serious about work. Just as she's laying it on thick, Longchen Yi steps forward. Daddy, I'll take care of my little sister. You don't need to worry. Our girl gives him a mental thumbs up. Good job. She even gives him a big hug as their dad finally agrees to go to the meeting. Longchen Yi puts on his best good big brother act, promising to take care of her. They look like the perfect siblings. The second their dad is out of sight, the act drops. He literally drops her on the ground with a thud. Get down, he snaps. Her escape plan just turned into a kidnapping plot. I knew it, so annoying, he mutters. Our girl immediately starts with the crocodile tears, her eyes welling up as she sniffles. Big brother, it doesn't work. He grabs her hand with a menacing smile. Big brother is going to take you to the bathroom now. She knows he's up to no good, but 2 can play at that game. Childish brat, she thinks. I can use this. He leads her to a dilapidated, creepy old building. We're here, he says, pointing to a dark doorway. The bathroom's in there. She pretends to be scared, her voice trembling. But big brother, I'm scared. He promises to wait right outside, and she makes him swear not to leave. He smirks as she walks inside. The door slams shut. Click, the lock turns. She waits a beat listening, then lets out a sigh. Kids are so easy to read, she scoffs. You forgot there's a window, didn't you? She confidently climbs up onto a crate, a smug little grin on her face. She pushes on the window, and it doesn't move. She pushes again. Her smug grin vanishes, replaced by pure shock. What? It won't open. It's over. She can't get out. I let my guard down. I didn't expect to be tricked by that brat, she thinks, her confidence shattered. And as that realization hits, a new feeling creeps in. A cold dread. The room feels darker. Colder. She tries to stay calm, telling herself not to be scared. But her hands won't stop shaking. Suddenly, a memory flashes through her mind, vivid and terrifying. Being locked in a school locker by bullies, their cruel laughter echoing around her. No one's gonna come look for her. She sees her younger self curled up in the suffocating darkness, whispering, "Let me out." Back in the present, she's trembling uncontrollably when she hears it. A scratching sound. And then she sees them, glowing eyes in the darkness. What is that? Her face contorts in terror. Meanwhile, Longchen Yi runs up to his father, who's just finishing up with the awards ceremony. He's panting, putting on the performance of a lifetime. Daddy, something bad happened. My little sister, she ran away. His dad, however, is completely unfazed. He just glances down, his voice dangerously calm. Really? The boy shoves a letter into his hand. Really? She left a goodbye letter. He smirks to himself, thinking he's totally nailed it. His dad reads the letter and Longchen Yi adds fuel to the fire. What an ungrateful child. But his dad just points to the paper. There's a typo in this letter. The boy freezes. No way! I even double-checked the dictionary. He knows he's been caught. His father's gaze turns absolutely menacing. Where is she? He asks, his voice dropping to a terrifying whisper. If you're lying, you know what'll happen. Back in the room. The beady eyes belong to a giant rat, which leaps right at her. Our girl lets out a blood-curdling scream and starts swinging a nearby broom like her life depends on it. Stay away from me. Suddenly, the locked door creaks open, flooding the room with light. She freezes, looking up with wide, terrified eyes. It's her dad, standing in the doorway like a god. Daddy. She whimpers. Tears she'd been holding back finally spill over, and she lets out a heart-wrenching sob. He looks from her tear-streaked face to the cowering rat. Are you scared of this terrifying little tiger? His voice strangely soft. The rat squeaks in terror and bolts, and our girl is just bewildered. The villain dad can talk to animals. He beckons to her. Come here. That's all it takes. She drops the broom and runs, crashing into his legs and sobbing uncontrollably. You're finally here! He kneels down, his usual icy demeanor melting away as he gently pats her head. There, don't cry anymore. She throws her arms around his neck, burying her face in his suit, and just cries her heart out. He seems a little stiff, a little unsure, but he holds her, patting her back until her sobs quiet down. Longchen Tao is brought before them, trembling. Daddy, I was wrong, he stammers. His father's voice is like ice. You should apologize to her. The boy bows low, his voice cracking as he yells. Sis, I'm sorry. The dad looks down at our girl, still clinging to him. You have the right not to forgive him, he says softly. He should be punished. Longchen Tao closes his eyes, bracing for his fate, but our girl pulls away, wipes her tears, and puffs out her cheeks. She's not crying anymore. She's fuming with rage. She stomps her little feet and marches right towards her terrified brother, who can only watch in horror, wondering what she's about to do. Our little nugget stands her ground, cheeks puffed out and radiating pure fury. Her third brother, Longchen Tao, flinches, his eyes wide with panic. He has no idea what this tiny, menacing creature is about to do, and frankly, he's terrified. He's spiraling, thinking she's about to rat him out to their terrifyingly cold father. But our girl is a master strategist. She flips the switch, and suddenly her eyes are two giant, sparkling pools of innocence. With a wobbly voice, she asks, Big brother didn't mean to do it, right? The poor boy is completely bewildered, stammering a confused, huh? And then she unleashes the final blow. With a smile bright enough to power a small city, she declares, Tao Tao's fine, no. Tao Tao forgives Big brother. He's stunned into silence, the words echoing in his head. She forgives me? The blush that spreads across his face is absolutely legendary. This little tsundere is short-circuiting. He throws a hand over his face, trying to hide how flustered he is, yelling who told her to forg. But it's too late. Tao leans in, her adorable face just inches from his, her eyes wide with hopeful expectation. And Big brother will never treat Tao Tao like that again, right? Leaving him no room to escape. He stammers, completely cornered. I won't. He's still blushing, tapping his cheek, completely defeated by the sheer force of her cuteness. Mission accomplished. Our girl launches herself wrapping him in a big hug. Third brother's the best. Tao Tao likes third brother, she chirps. He's a blushing, stuttering mess, trying to pretend it's no big deal, but he's not fooling anyone. And our little genius is internally celebrating. Guess all that child psychology study paid off, she thinks. But wait, they've had an audience this whole time. From the sidelines, the eldest brother watches, with a sharp, calculating gaze. This brat isn't simple, he muses while Tao Tao, oblivious, is already asking him for a hug. The scene changes, and we're at a track meet for the 100-er finals. Our girl is there, cupping her hands around her mouth and giving it her all. Gio, be like brother. You will absolutely get first place, she screams, while the eldest brother stands behind her, looking as stoic as a statue. Her third brother on the track is dying of secondhand embarrassment. He covers his ears, a blush creeping up his neck. Third brother's getting embarrassed. Despite his mortification, her cheers seem to work. He cracks a tiny, determined smile. As the starter yells on your marks, his eyes gleam with focus. He thinks to himself, but that wild girl was right. The starting gun fires. Go! He explodes off the starting line, a blur of motion, absolutely set on winning first place. In the stands, Tao Tao is going feral, screaming, Joe, big prayer! The eldest brother looks like he needs earplugs. But then the absolute worst happens. His feet tangle beneath him, and in a heart-stopping moment, he tumbles forward, crashing hard onto the track. Tao Tao lets out a horrified shriek. Big brother. Her face is a mask of shock and fear, and even the eldest brother's cool facade cracks with concern. On the ground, Chen Go groans, Teach, that hurts. He pushes against the rough track, his face contorted in pain. He looks up just in time to see the other runners speeding past him. He's been left in the dust. A voice in his head screams at him, Longchen Tao. Dad and the wild girl are watching you. Just as he struggles to his feet, he sees the kid who tripped him glance back with a malicious grin and stick his tongue out. I'm gonna get first, a little punk taunts. That's all it takes. A fire ignites in Long Yi's eyes, and he pushes through the pain, breaking into a desperate sprint. But it's too late. The race is over. He stands alone on the track, having come in last place, his shoulders slumped in defeat. It's a truly heart-wrenching sight. Tears well up in his eyes, threatening to spill over as the crushing weight of his failure sinks in. He looks up and sees his father and Teota walking toward him. Before they can reach him, the smug winner saunters over. Yo, last place, the bully sneers. Your dad's probably disappointed in a loser like you. In an instant, Teotao's face transforms into pure rage. You punk, she growls. Another girl rushes to defend him, exposing the bully for tripping him. But Teotao is already charging. What did you say? The bully raises his hand, snarling, shut your mouth. But in a flash, Longchen Yi moves, yanking Teotao behind him. He shields her with his own body, his gaze turning icy and menacing. Try laying a finger on my sister, he warns, his voice dripping with venom, and see what happens. The bully actually flinches, before turning tail with a cowardly, "Humph, I won't stoop to your level." Just then, their father kneels beside them. How's the injury? He asks gently. Longchen Yi can't meet his eyes. I'm fine. Dad, I didn't get a medal, he mumbles, expecting disappointment. But instead, a warm hand strokes his hair. You did great, his father softly. I saw everything. Taotao adds her own praise, her voice bursting with pride. Big brother, you ran all the way even with your injury. Taotao is proud of you. That's the final straw, all the pain, the humiliation, the fear. It all comes pouring out. The little boy's composure shatters, and he throws himself into his father's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Dad, he cries, clinging to him for the first time in what feels like forever. Later that night, a sleek black car pulls up to their sprawling mansion. Inside, both kids are dead asleep, exhausted from the emotional day. Longchen Yi is curled up on his dad's lap, while Teotao rests beside them. The butler offers to take them, but their father simply says, no need, and gently lifts Teotao into his arms. The household staff swoons at the tender sight. In an unprecedented show of affection, the cold-hearted Duke carries both of his children inside, one on his back and one in his arms, leaving the butler in a state of euphoric shock. He brings them into a large, opulent room, and gently places them side by side on a massive bed. They look like two perfect sleeping angels. A rare, soft smile graces his handsome face as he looks down at them. They sure look a lot cuter when they're asleep, he murmurs. But hold up, Longchen Yi's eyes are squeezed just a little too tight. He's faking it. Inside his head, a volcano is erupting. Dad actually thinks I'm cute, but his tsundere nature immediately rears its head. Wait, so I'm not usually cute, is that it? Beside him, Teotao cracks open an eye, giving him the most epic side-eye for his terrible acting. Their father gently pulls the blanket over them, his mind flashing back to the raw emotion of his son's hug earlier that day. He reflects on how he's always been tubesy for them, how this is the first time he's truly felt his son rely on him. And then, in a classic cold CEO move, he decides the best way is to teach his son how to fall better by wrestling with him. Sir, you missed the entire point. But fake sleeping Lai doesn't care. He's ecstatic. Daddy is taking me out to play. Awesome. Teotao, meanwhile, looks utterly exhausted by her brother's drama. The butler quietly enters the room, but their father silences him with a single finger to his lips. Once the door closes, Teotao peeks out from under the covers. Whew, finally he's gone, she whispers, relieved. She hops out of bed, quietly calling out to her sleeping brother. She leans over to sneak a peek, trying to see if he's really asleep. He doesn't stir. Convinced he's out for the count, her expression softens. All right, she thinks. Seems he cried himself to sleep. She gently tucks him in, patting his head. Sweet dreams, third brother, she whispers before tiptoeing out of the room. The second she's gone, his eyes fly open, his heart thumping wildly in his chest. The next morning, our girl is in the kitchen, happily planning breakfast when she feels a prickle on the back of her neck. Someone is watching her. As she hums, a shadow creeps closer. She spins around, brandishing the first thing she could grab, purple onion, and yells, "Gobobo's there." It's her brother, who now has the onion wedged in his mouth. Third brother? She gasps. What are you doing here? He tries to act nonchalant. What else do people come to the kitchen for? Food, obviously. He then takes a huge, defiant bite of the raw onion. The result is instantaneous and colorful. He starts spewing a literal rainbow. Through his tears, he chokes out, "I just really like onions." Our girl can only sigh at this little devil. She laughs it off and asks what he wants to eat. After listing a few things, she meant sandwiches. But didn't you say you hated sandwiches before? She asks innocently. He freezes, caught red-handed, a blush painting his cheeks. Awkward. At the dining table, he puts on a stubborn front. "I am hungry. Sandwiches are the most convenient, that's all," he insists, while Teotao mentally rolls her eyes at his terrible acting. He's practically drooling over the spread, and she just knows he's lying through his teeth, while she's happily munching on a piece of bacon. He notices she's down to her last piece. A determined glint enters his eyes as he stares at the main platter. With the stiff, awkward movements of a robot, he forks a massive pile of bacon and dumps it all onto her plate. Yeah, he commands. Ahem, I hate bacon the most, so from now on, you can eat mine? Got it? He then turns away, poking his blushing cheek, trying to look cool. Our heroine is utterly bewildered by this bizarre display of affection. When she doesn't immediately dig in, he gets antsy. Why aren't you eating? Come on, eat up. Thinking fast, she changes the subject with a dazzling smile. Big bro, scrambled eggs. He's confused, but his sundeer brain interprets this as her wanting his eggs. Here, he says, shoving his plate at her. Today's scrambled eggs are super dry, finish them for me. A mischievous idea forms in her mind. She takes a sip of milk and praises it. Then, looking at her now empty glass with big sad eyes, she whimpers, but how come it's gone so fast? Like clockwork, he slams his fist on the table. Joe tell the kitchen to bring 3 more servings of milk. As a maid delivers her prize, Tao Tao is cackling internally. I knew it. He's totally trying to win me over. He gets flustered by her staring. What are you looking at? Drink it already. She chugs the milk, and he can't help but smile. He then solemnly instructs the butler to ensure she gets 3 glasses of milk every day from now on. The poor boy is so confused by his own actions, while our girl lies face down on the table, defeated by his chaotic kindness. I really can't. 4 glasses in a row. This'll be the death of me. Meanwhile, their father comes down for breakfast, looking sharp as ever. He sits down to the pancakes Tao Tao made for him. She proudly tells him she made them because he liked them last time, but he immediately shuts her down with a serious expression. Don't make them again. What if you got hurt? She nervously agrees, thinking she needs to escape this family's intense affection before her heart gives out. He takes a bite, completely unaware of her inner turmoil. The breakfast is interrupted by the butler, who enters holding an envelope with a grim expression. The young lady's test results are in, he announces. The air freezes. Dad's eyes narrow. Tao Tao goes into full-blown panic mode. I'm doomed, she thinks. The good days are over. Her mind races with desperate, chaotic plans. What ODODS, I can snatch that report and burn it first? The menacing head of the family sits in his throne-like chair, an envelope held delicately in his hands. His icy blue eyes are narrowed. How is Zult already out? He murmurs, the tension in the room so thick you could cut it with a knife. Suddenly, a tiny voice pipes up, full of innocent excitement. Dad, hurry and open it! And there she is. Our little nugget, sitting on the floor, looking up at him with wide, hopeful eyes. But don't let that adorable face fool you. Inside, our girl is in absolute panic mode. She's screaming internally, a full-blown meltdown happening in her head. Zavia Sierra! She's sweating buckets, and her sweet, white-haired brother notices. He asks, holding out a tissue with a worried look on his face. He looks so concerned, bless his heart. Our desperate MC grabs the tissue, forcing a laugh. Haha, yeah, she says, while her inner voice is just a chaotic screech for air conditioning. Meanwhile, the man of the house finally breaks the seal on the letter, his fingers trembling ever so slightly. He's remembering why he even let this kid stay. It was because she cried and looked so much like that woman, he thinks, a bead of sweat tracing its way down his temple. His mind flashes to a beautiful blonde with kind eyes, but he quickly shuts it down. Tish. There's no way she's my daughter, he scoffs, his pride refusing to believe it. The butler watches from the side, knowing his master is far more invested than he lets on. And then, the master's eyes go wide. He sees the results, and he is completely bewildered. The DNA test report is undeniable. The numbers are circled in red, a clear match. The final line seals the deal. Paternity is confirmed. He can't breathe. She's really my daughter. He snaps his head up, his gaze locking onto the little girl with an intensity that makes her flinch. Our poor heroine is freaking out. Why are you suddenly looking at me like that? My time traveler gig is over, isn't it? Her soul literally tries to leave her body. But instead of joy, his face twists into a mask of pure rage. He slams his fist down, shaking. Where is that woman? He roars. The little nugget trembles, utterly confused. That woman. He shoves the paper towards her. His voice a menacing growl, your bile. He stops himself, his jaw tight. Where is she? He demands again. It finally clicks for our girl. The impossible is true. Wait, I'm really the villain's daughter. He looms over her, his eyes dark. Speak! Tears well up in her big blue eyes. Daddy, I don't know either, she cries, her voice wobbly. All I remember is waking up here. I don't remember anything before that. She looks up at him, a single tear rolling down her chubby cheek. I'm sorry, Daddy. And just like that, the menacing aura shatters. He's left completely speechless. The ever-helpful butler swoops in. Sir, she may have lost parts of her memory due to the trauma from the kidnapping. The villain dad just grunts, got it. He straightens his tie, trying to compose himself, and gives a simple order, look into it. The butler knows this is the breakthrough they've been waiting for in the search for her mother. Later that night, the cold-hearted Duke is alone in his grand library. He flips through an old book, revealing a hidden photograph of him and the beautiful blonde woman. A dark expression crosses his face. You've grown bold, haven't you? He whispers the picture. You left me without a word and even had a child behind my back. A chilling, possessive smile spreads across his lips. You better hope I never find you. The next morning, our little heroine wakes up in a massive, fluffy bed, still reeling from the bombshell. Am I really his daughter? She wonders, recalling that in the novel, the villain family was all boys, all of whom met a tragic end. This changes everything. Just then, the butler arrives with a whole rack of the most adorable dresses you've ever seen. She gasps, pointing at a frilly one. Wow, what a cute dress. The butler beams, surrounded by happy hearts. The master picked it out just for you, he says proudly. She puts on the gorgeous pink dress and can't help but twirl, amazed that the villain dad has such good taste. As she's admiring herself, her third brother peeks out from behind a door. Why didn't you go yet? Your breakfast is getting cold, he says, a slight blush on his cheeks. She pouts, I'll be done soon. I'm trying to braid my hair, but my arms are too short. Without missing a beat, he puffs out his chest. You're too slow. I'll do it, he declares. Our girl is floored. Third brother, you can do hair? He flinches, completely caught off guard by her surprise. Of course, he says, trying to act cool. It's just braiding hair. He promises she'll be satisfied and gets to work, concentrating so hard his tongue sticks out. But Tusk, this little braid is trickier than I thought. He mutters, a little too hard. She yelps, ah! Third brother, are you braiding or pulling out my hair? I don't want to go bald. He starts to panic but tries to reassure her. Hold on, let me figure it out. Trust me, it'll be fine. A moment later, he steps back. Done, he announces, looking extremely proud of his masterpiece. She looks in the mirror. It's a disaster. Her hair looks like a bird's nest. She forces a strained smile. A perfect tree branch style. Before she can fix it, Daddy's voice booms from downstairs. They look down and see him waiting. Daddy, we're braiding hair, she chirps, trying to sound cheerful. Her new dad just stares at the monstrosity on her head with the most unimpressed look ever. She can feel his judgment from a mile away. But then, he says something that shocks them both. Let me try. Third brother is absolutely bewildered. What? A few moments later, our poor girl is in tears, clutching a handful of her precious hair. Her father stands back, arms crossed, looking ridiculously pleased himself. He hums as if he just created a work of art. She looks in the mirror again. And it's even worse. It's two lumpy, lopsided pigtails. My dear Jessie, Jane, Harry, Nina, she sobs, naming each fallen strand. Meanwhile, her brother is fawning over their dad. Daddy, you're awesome! That's the last straw. She explodes. What's there to be proud of, you two big dummies? Get out. I'll do-AT myself, she screams, kicking them out of the room. The two clueless men stand outside her door. Next time I'll braid 6, the dad says with deadpan seriousness. Finally, she comes downstairs for breakfast, her hair done in perfect, adorable twin buns she did herself. She sits at the enormous dining table, her eyes sparkling at the sight of a huge plate of bacon. She beams at her third brother. Thanks, third brother. He immediately goes bright red, waving his hands frantically. I never said it was me. He denies, the blush giving him away completely. Dad just watches the scene, a small smile on his face. Earl happily digs in, thinking maybe, just maybe, staying here won't be so bad after all. But the peaceful moment is shattered when a new voice echoes through the hall. A red-haired boy strolls in. It's the second son, Longchen Tao. Her heart drops. She knows him from the novel. He spots her, a curious glint in his red eyes. And who's this? Is this our little sister? Third brother excitedly confirms it, and their father makes the official introduction, ordering Feng to take care of her. Feng's face breaks into a wide, slightly unhinged smile. I can't believe I went to summer camp and came back with a new little sister. I love sisters the most. He whips out a piece of candy. Sister, want some candy? But she remembers everything. This boy is a poison master who loves to experiment. She freezes, every muscle in her body screaming danger. Seeing her hesitation, he pouts. Sister, don't you like candy? She quickly forces a smile. Thanks, brother. Tao loves candy. But Tao will eat breakfast first, then have candy. Nice try, but he's not letting her off that easily. Then try the special pepper powder I developed at summer camp, he says, and before she can react, he viciously sprinkles a dark powder all over her pudding. He leans in, his smile sharp and menacing. Come on, try it, it's really tasty. Our girl feels the cold sweat of doom trickle down her back. She's trembling, about to be force-fed poison, when her villain dad's voice, smooth as silk, cuts through the tension. If you don't want to eat it, then no need to force yourself. Third brother quickly backs him up, munching on a sandwich. Yeah, second bro, I got the runs after trying your last invention. Don't give that to the baby, okay? Second brother looks genuinely confused by the team up against him. He finds it interesting that they're both protecting her. He leans toward her and whispers, says maybe let's not eat this, yeah? And then he plucks the bacon from her plate and eats it himself. Bacon's really tasty, he declares with a happy munch. Our heroine is stunned. He actually ate it. And he wasn't poisoned. Feng then gives her the most gentle head pat. I'll go buy something delicious later. Consider it a welcome gift for my little sister. But his hand is ice cold, sending a shiver right through her. She forces a thank you. her mind screaming, "Oh no, there goes my peaceful life." Later, the maids gossip about how much the family dotes on the new little miss, but their cheerful chatter is cut short when they accidentally interrupt the second master in his lab. He turns, a sinister smile on his face. "You're interrupting my experiment? Or do you want to join in?" The maids scream and flee for their lives. Alone again, he adds a drop of purple liquid to a bubbling beaker. He stares at the concoction, a truly terrifying thought crossing his mind. If I turned her corpse into a doll, would people like her even more? He wonders, his red eyes gleaming in the dark. The next day, our girl is huddled in her bed, remembering the grim fates of her new brothers. She recalls how Longchen Tao, in his obsession with the original story's heroine, accidentally poisons himself and dies a tragic, regretful death. He was already this chaotic as a kid. A fierce determination fills her. I don't want them to suffer the way they did in the book. Tears fill her eyes as she clutches her blanket. How do I stop this tragic villain family from meeting their fates? A knock on the door interrupts her thoughts. She runs to open it, still lost in her worries. It's him. The second brother, grinning from ear to ear. "Morning, little sis." Instant regret. She wants to slam the door in his face. He holds up a basket overflowing with glistening, perfect fruit. "I came bearing gifts for my darling sister. May I come in?" She has no choice but to force a smile and welcome him in. As he walks past, he flashes a sly, unsettling grin. Our poor heroine watches him, a single thought echoing in her terrified mind. Forget saving the villain family. I should focus on saving my own life first. The second brother comes striding in, a basket in his hands and a blindingly cheerful smile on his face. "I made you all kinds of tasty snacks. They're really yummy," he declares. But our girl Tao Tao is immediately suspicious. "Wow, so cool. But second brother, didn't you say you'd boo me snacks?" The little nugget is already sweating, but she puts on a brave, encouraging smile. And then he reveals his creation. "My friends, it is a crime against baking." He holds up a lopsided chocolate roll cake and says with a straight face, "I just got the ingredients and mixed them together, that's all. Doesn't that count?" Internally, our girl's face is a mask of pure judgment, but she forces out a sweet, "Big brother worked hard." But oh, it gets worse. The spread he's laid out looks like it was cooked in a witch's cauldron. There are these blueberry things and a cake covered in what looks like tar, all steaming with a menacing purple aura. Tao Tao is gagging on the inside. How can anyone bear to eat this? She literally can't. A rainbow of pure disgust spews from her mouth as she imagines taking a bite. Her brother, completely unfazed, just says, "Just pick one, I'm not that kind of guy." He sits down primly on an ornate chair, making a cute little triangle with his fingers, trying to look all innocent. But then we see it. A close-up reveals his true face, a sinister, menacing grin with eyes that scream, "I am chaos incarnate." He leans forward, his voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Hurry, pick one." Our desperate MC is in full-blown panic mode. She can practically see the words written all over his face. Gulping, she thinks, looking at this, who believe it's poisoned, her mind is racing. She imagines herself drowning in a sea of his toxic desserts, and her willpower is starting to crumble. What do I do? What do I do? She frets, knowing she has to get rid of the psycho somehow. She puts her hands together, praying to someone named Nene for help. Then the performance of a lifetime begins. With her eyes wide and shimmering with unshed tears, she says, "Big brother, I love these snacks, but Tao Tao just ate dinner, and my tummy's full." Instead of picking a cake, she cleverly reaches for the bamboo basket they came in. "Second brother, can I have this bamboo basket instead?" she asks, lifting it up with her tiny arms. Her brother looks at her, a flicker of surprise in his eyes, before a slow smile spreads across his face. "Sure," he says. Victory. Our girl's face lights up, her eyes sparkling like diamonds. "Yay! I love this bamboo basket. Thanks for the gift, second brother," she chirps. Internally, she's doing a victory dance. This guy didn't expect I'd pick this. "Got him, little sneaky one, I've got you." But hold up, the chaotic brother just reaches over, grabs a cookie from the tray, and pops it in his mouth. Thump! Our poor heroine's jaw hits the floor. Her mind is just a mess of question marks as she shrieks, "What? You're really eating it? What a champ!" He just gives her a smug little smile, touching his lip. "Little sis knows how to choose," he says, his voice smooth as silk as he starts walking toward her. He leans in close, his red eyes glinting. "You really like the smell of bamboo," he whispers. She flinches back, completely bewildered by his menacing presence. "Smell?" she squeaks. Hesitantly, she lifts the basket to her nose for a sniff. A faint, pleasant aroma wafts out. "Yeah, there's a light bamboo scent. It's actually nice," she murmurs, surprised. Her eyes widen with delight as she realizes the basket itself is the real treasure. "It smells good. I'll treasure second brother's gift," she declares, hugging the basket close. But her brother's smile turns absolutely wicked. He starts mumbling something under his breath. 2. Our girl looks at him, completely confused. What is he talking about? 1. He finishes and his grin is pure, unadulterated evil. Suddenly, the handle of the basket begins to crumble into dust right in her hands. The entire basket disintegrates, and our little nugget collapses to the floor, clutching her stomach as a sharp pair. Ow! Ouch! My stomach hurts so much, she screams, doubling over in agony. Tears stream down her face as she reaches a desperate hand out to him for help, but he just stands there, arms crossed, with an icy expression. Humph, I didn't even make an antidote, he says coolly. Because of you, my whole family's different. He just leaves her there, writhing on the floor. Her tiny hand reaches out one last time as he turns his back on her. This is the cost, he says, and walks away without a second glance. She's left panting on the cold floor, the pain almost unbearable. Am I gonna? She thinks, her body trembling. She curls into a tight ball, the irony hitting her like a ton of bricks. Just yesterday, she was thinking about how to save this very brother from his tragic fate. A surge of anger cuts through the pain. Ungrateful kid. Rotten brat, she thinks, clutching a remaining piece of the cursed basket handle. Her brother stops, hearing a noise behind him. With a ferocious battle cry, our girl launches herself through the air like a tiny, vengeful cannonball. He spins around, his eyes wide with shock as she lands squarely on his back, clinging on like a superglued koala. A savage grin spreads across her face. You poisoned me, huh? Then I'll fight poison with poison, she declares. She shoves the cursed basket right under his nose. Big brother, smell this, it's so good, she yells, refusing to let go. I'm so happy you gave me a gift, I've got to share it with you. And then they both freeze. A low, ominous grumble echoes in the air, a sound of pure doom. Their faces contort in identical masks of horror as they butch their stomachs. The poison has activated in both of them. It's a mad dash for the bathroom, a chaotic squealing limbs and panicked cries. Yeah. They shriek, racing down the hall. Their third brother, the adorable Yi Yi, pokes his head out, completely bewildered. It's Big Brother and Little Sis. Are they racing? He wonders, ever the innocent bystander. The race is neck and neck, but Feng Feng makes it to the bathroom door first, panting in relief. He clenches his fist, a small victory in this chaotic war. But our girl is not one to give up. An idea strikes. She yells at the top of her lungs. Third bro, if you help me catch Big Brother, I'll make you a sandwich tomorrow. Yi ears practically turn into satellite dishes. A sandwich? Then I want double eggs and double sausage, he negotiates, his priorities clear. And just like that, a deal is struck. Our girl pops out from behind the door frame, pointing triumphantly. Big brother, Tao Tao got here first. Before he can react, Yi tackles him from behind. Wait. Feng Feng yells, but it's too late. Another stomach grumble echoes, this time from Feng Feng. The battle ends in a draw. The two warriors are seen moments later, slumped on opposite couches in the living room, looking utterly defeated and drained. Feng Feng slowly begins to clap, that menacing smile returning his face. Heh, nice one, little sis, he says, his voice low. Our girl, sprawled out on her own couch, glack. Right back at you, she retorts, already plotting her next move. He's thinking the same thing. Bring it on, big, she says, her eyesing. I won't give up. She even stands on the couch to make her point, a tiny, defiant general. Suddenly, their dad appears out of nowhere, scooping our girl into his arms. What are you talking about? He asks gently. She immediately seizes the opportunity. Daddy, big brother, But then she sees it. A flicker of panic in Feng Feng's eyes. He's scared of their dad. A critical weakness has been exposed. She pivots instantly. The words die on her lips as a new plan forms. Big brother gave me a gift, she finishes, her voice sweet as honey. And I love it. She turns to her dad and gives him a smile so bright and angelic it could power a small city. Feng Feng is absolutely baffled. What is she playing at? Dad just chuckles, pinching her cheek. Oh, looks like you really like Feng Feng. He turns to his bewildered son. Feng Feng, take good care of your little sister today. Before he can protest, Feng Feng is scooping her into a hug, a dazed look on his face. Dad smiles, completely oblivious to the war that just took place. As their father leaves, Feng Feng stares after him, still processing. She didn't snitch on me. Does little sis have other plans? She turns to him, her expression serious. Big brother, I just don't want to fight you, she declares. Internally, she knows that getting him punished would only make him more unhinged. For now, a truce. They lock eyes in a silent, fiery standoff. And of course, that's when Yi Yi pops up between them. Are you playing a staring game? I want to play too? Like that, the three of them are hanging upside down from the back of the couch, the tension completely shattered by the chaotic, adorable energy. It's just a normal day in this family. That was so fun. Yi cheers. Next time, let's have fourth bro join in too. Our girl agrees, thinking how much she likes this chill version of her third brother. Meanwhile, Feng Feng just lies there, looking like a lost cause. With a wink, Tao announces she's going off to play by herself, secretly hoping her brother gets a taste of his own medicine from the story's main characters. As she leaves, a slow, calculating smile spreads across Feng Feng's face. He props himself up on his elbow, watching her go. This is fun, he thinks to himself. Looks like I'm gonna have a blast playing. The next morning dawns on the grand estate. Our little nugget is sleeping peacefully, but a nightmare causes her to jolt awake. W-wa, don't come closer, she whimpers, still half asleep. A gentle voice calls her name. It's the sweet maid Kelly, here to wake her up. Good morning, Kelly says with a warm smile. Kelly gently ties a big red bow in our girl's fluffy hair. Tao Tao thinks to herself that ever since her chaotic brother returned, she's been plagued by nightmares. Kelly clasped her hands together, admiring her work. It's so Tao Tao looks at her reflection and beams. I totally love it. She is just a ball of pure, unfiltered joy. She throws her arms around the maid's legs in a grateful hug. Thanks, says Kelly. Kelly then picks her up to get her dressed for the day. Downstairs in the massive dining hall, Yi spots them immediately. Little sis, over here. He excitedly helps her into her chair, the perfect gentleman. Daddy then swoops in and places her on his lap for breakfast. It's all so sweet. Tao Tao offers a polite morning, second bro, but Feng Feng just scoffs and announces he's leaving for tutoring. But Dad has other plans. Okay, take your sister today. She loves playing with you, he commands. Our girl's face falls in horror, while Feng Feng gets that terrifyingly cheerful glint in his eye. Got it, Daddy, he says with a menacing smile. She tries to weasel her way out of it. Daddy, I'm not really that into. But Yai Ye, her valiant protector, suddenly declares, I love playing with little sis too. Wait, I mean love tutoring too. Dad raises a skeptical eyebrow. Don't you hate tutoring? Dad just smiles knowingly at his son's obvious lie. Yi blushes but grabs her hand firmly, and so our poor heroine is literally dragged away, suspended between her two brothers sighing at her difficult life. They arrive at a classroom where a stern-looking teacher is waiting. The boys greet teacher Vincent, while Tao Tao peeks out nervously from behind them. The teacher is standing next to another boy, a cousin named Longchen Yan. The tutor immediately starts his tirade. You're 1 minute late. Not serious about learning, huh? He snaps, comparing them to the early arriving Yan. Our girl's internal alarm bells are ringing. This tutor is bad news. His cold gaze lands on her. You're the foster daughter Mr. Longchen brought in, right? He asks, his tone dripping with disdain. He clearly thinks she's a waste of his precious time. But before she can even flinch, Yi puffs out his chest and speaks up, trembling but firm. Teacher, she's my real sister, not foster. Our girl's heart melts. Her sweet third brother is defending her. But the teacher is not having it. He slams his cane on the floor. That's enough. Sit down now, he commands, his voice icy. Don't waste my time. And with that, the lesson begins. In the middle of class, our girl secretly passes a note to Yai Yi. It's a little thank you note for sticking up for her. He sees it and puffs out his chest, looking incredibly proud and happy. I've got you covered, he whispers back. Feng Feng watches this exchange, a smirk on his face, thinking how easily his sweet, simple brother is tricked by their clever little sister. Suddenly, a hand slams down on the desk, making them all jump. Chat again, and you're out, the teacher roars. He glares at them through his monocle, his face a mask of fury. He points to the stoic Yan. Look at Yan. He got first in the school's midterm tests. Then he turns on Yai Yi. And you Longchen Yi got second to last, right? As Yi flushes with shame, the teacher rounds on Feng Feng for snickering. Longchen Feng, you're laughing? Always messing with creepy stuff instead of studying. I honestly can't understand how the Longchen family ended up raising a freak like you. Feng Feng's smile vanishes, replaced by a cold teach. Yi clenches his fists at his side, his face full of anger. Our girl watches them, her heart sinking. Oh no, she thinks. Second bros and third bros bad guy meters are going up. Our little nugget slams her tiny hands on the podium, her face a mask of adorable fury. She is not having it. A teacher is bad-mouthing her brothers, and this lady has decided to throw down. You're not allowed to talk about my brother like that, she yells, her voice surprisingly loud. The teacher, a grumpy-looking old man, is completely flabbergasted. He snaps. What do you think you're doing? Get down from that podium right now. Is this how a student should act? But our girl stands her ground, her cheeks puffed out. I'm not doing anything, she declares. I just wanted to say my third brother is amazing at sports. He snagged 3 medals at the last school meet. Her third brother, the silver-haired boy, flinches trying to play it cool with a teach, but a tiny chi version of him is doing a happy dance. He is so pleased. She's not done. And my second brother's limited edition crystal project was super creative too. The red-haired second brother looks down, a flicker of emotion in his eyes. He can't believe she remembered his chaotic little snack booth and thought it was book-worthy. Our girl gives a triumphant thumbs up, thinking she's single-handedly boosted her gloomy brother's morale. With her brothers successfully hyped up, turns her attention back to the real enemy. Pointing a tiny accusing finger, she goes off. See? You don't understand them at all. Making random judgments. How can a teacher teach well if they don't even understand their students? The teacher's face begins to twitch, but she continues her savage tirade. Teachers are human too. They make mistakes. Why can't I criticize them? The old man is sputtering, completely lost for words. You, uttering nonsense. But then, a cruel, calculating glint appears in his eyes. Fine, he says with a smirk. Since you insist your brothers are so awesome, there's a family banquet at the Longwave household in a few days. Let's invite them and see how well-liked they are. He adjusts his glasses, thinking he's laid the perfect trap. Those two troublemakers never go to social events, they'll definitely refuse. Our desperate MC is in full-blown panic mode. She can't just force them to go. The teacher leans in, his voice dripping with scorn. What's the matter? Do you all not want to go? I guess you know deep down how unwelcomed you are. Just as tears start to well up in our heroine's eyes, a voice cuts in. What's there to avoid? I'm going. It's third bro. He looks determined, adding, banquets have so many fun things, I want to go. Our girl's face lights up with pure joy. Yay! She turns to her second brother with hopeful eyes. Did I just hear that right? Second bro wants to go too? He looks up from his desk, a cool, knowing smile playing on his lips. Yep. He's in. This is perfect. Our girl is ecstatic, winking to herself. I just love the energy of them. That's awesome. The teacher, however, is fuming. His perfect plan just went up in smoke. Enough chit-chat. Longchen Tao, you're disrupting the class again. Get out and stand in the hallway, he roars, pointing dramatically at the door. But he just played himself. Our chaotic little nugget skips happily towards the door, thinking this is the perfect excuse to ditch his boring class. She gets to the doorway, pauses, and turns around to make a giant, adorable heart with her hands. I'll head out then. Bye. Before the door can even close, her third brother shoots up from his desk. I'll go with her. Whoever likes this lame class can stay. The teacher is bewildered. What you say? The old man tries to get a final jab in. Your legs are so short, you walk like a snail. But the third brother doesn't even flinch. He just scoops his sister up into a protective hug and walks out, leaving the teacher speechless. The teacher can only mutter, okay, as his plan completely unravels. And the final nail in the coffin. The second brother calmly closes his book with a smack. Since my younger siblings have left, there's no reason for me to stick around either. He strolls out, leaving the teacher absolutely apoplectic, screaming about how unruly they are. The whole class is in chaos, and one boy with a bowl cut adjusts his glasses, a thoughtful look on his face. So she's the youngest daughter from Uncle's side, huh? Later that night, in their grand mansion, our girl is buzzing with excitement, asking her others all about banquets. But the reality is, heartbreaking third brother, nibbling on a cookie, quietly admits, no one wanted to play with him, clearly. She then turns to her second brother, who says with a shrug, everyone stays at least a meter away from me. It's great. The image of them at a party, sitting alone and far apart, is just gut-wrenching. The truth hits our heroine like a ton of bricks. The teacher's challenge wasn't a dare. It was a trap designed to humiliate them. She bites her little finger, her mind racing. She has to find a way to help her brothers blend in at this banquet. The next day, she's still racking her brain, stretching her tiny baby body out on her bed in frustration. How can she help when she's so small? Suddenly, a figure appears beside her bed. Her eyes light up. It's Sister Kelly. The kind maid gently pats her head, asking if something is on her mind. Bingo. A brilliant idea strikes. She can ask Kelly for advice. Sister Kelly, what kids do grown-ups usually like? She asks with sparkling eyes. Kelly thinks for a moment. People seem to like polite and elegant kids, those who speak gently and move with grace. Tao Tao gets it instantly. She gives the maid a huge thank you kiss on the cheek, making Kelly swoon from the sheer cuteness. With a new plan in motion, she runs off to find her brothers. She finds them in the dining room and bursts in, startling her third brother so badly he spits milk all over himself. She holds up a rolled-up paper like a megaphone and announces, brothers, starting now, we're doing special training to become the most popular kids at the banquet. They are, understandably, completely baffled. The training, a work in progress. The third brother looks incredibly awkward trying to learn a formal bow, while our girl wobbles precariously, trying to master a curtsy. The second brother, however, is not impressed, sighing, ugh, this fake act again. Tao Tao snaps at him. Second bro, stop slacking. Come join. But he just dismisses it as a useless waste of energy. Our girl realizes she needs a different approach for each of them. She grabs her reluctant second brother by the arm. Obviously taking you to your own secret training session. She drags him all the way to the kitchen. Her genius plan, he'll make beautiful, lovely sweets and people will fall in love with his creations. But his face falls. He thought she was different. Didn't you say my desserts were creative? Was that a lie? He asks, his voice full of hurt. She frantically tries to reassure him, but he turns away, dejected. No need for fake compliments. I'll handle the banquet myself. Our poor heroine watches him go, her heart sinking. The night of the banquet arrives. Third brother makes his grand entrance, looking dashing in a formal suit and greeting everyone politely. Our girl follows, pulling off a perfect, graceful curtsy. The training paid off. But just as she thinks that, disaster strikes. Third brother gets dizzy from standing up too fast. He wobbles, face plants right in the middle of the ballroom floor. He groans in pain and Tao Tao rushes to his side in a panic. Immediately, the whispers start. The freaky siblings. And who's standing there with a smug look on his face? The horrible teacher, Vincent. Just then, a woman screams, "Oh no, my priceless necklace got stolen. A thief." Third's eyes flash. This is his moment. He springs into action, chasing the thief at lightning speed. Tao panics so much for being polite and gentlemanly, but the crowd erupts in cheers. Wow, what a hero! Amazing athletic talent. They're praising him. Tao proudly turns to the teacher, but Vincent just scoffs. A freak's always a freak. He then gestures to the second brother who's standing alone with a tray of his strange-looking desserts. So this is what you call being popular? The old man's smugness is infuriating. Tao's heart aches for her second brother, looking so lonely and misunderstood. She marches right up to him, grabs one of his bizarre black pufferfish-looking snacks, and shoves it in her mouth. He looks stunned. She chews for a second, her eyes widening in genuine surprise. "Second, your snack tastes amazing." He's completely shocked. "Oh, really?" Third brother comes over, looking anxious. She urges him to try one, and he cautiously takes a bite. His entire face lights up. "Second bro, when did you turn into a genius? This is insanely good." For the first time, a genuine, happy, almost devilish smile spreads across the second brother's face. Of course, Vincent the hater has to ruin it. "Ha ha ha, you guys are ridiculous," he sneers. But just then, a small voice says, "Hello?" A little girl shyly approaches them. "Can I try one too?" The second brother is so shocked he can barely stutter out a "sure." The teacher looks on, absolutely bewildered. The little girl takes a bite, and her eyes sparkle. "Your snack tastes great, and the shape is super original. I really like it." The second brother is blushing, completely overwhelmed by the positive attention. And then, it's a stampede. All the other kids crowd around, eager to try his unique treats. He's a sensation. Popular. Tao, seizing the moment, turns to the teacher with a sweet, innocent smile. "Teacher Vincent, don't you want to try one too? This is the last straw." The teacher snaps. "I'm attaining that," he screams, accusing him of poisoning the food. And then, he smacks the tray right out of the second brother's hands. The desserts go flying. Third brother yells in outrage, while Tao grabs the teacher's arm, trying to stop him. The beautiful, creative snacks crash to the floor in a heartbreaking mess. A dark, menacing aura begins to pour off the second brother. He looks absolutely murderous, but before he can explode, the other kids rally around him, asking him to bring more snacks next time. He actually winks at them, his mood instantly lifted. Tao sticks her tongue out at Vincent, gloating that her brother is popular now. Vincent loses his mind. One only knows how to run, the other makes all sorts of weird stuff. "You're not from now on in my class," but a cold voice cuts him off. "Weirdos?" Everyone freezes. Standing at the entrance is their father, looking every bit the menacing villain Duke. He walks toward them, his presence commanding the entire room. "A teacher like you doesn't deserve to teach my kids." Taw into his arms. "He a daddy." Vincent starts to sweat, stammering about respect, but Dad is having none of it. "If you can't show basic respect to children, don't expect any in return," he says, his voice deadly calm. "You're fired." The brothers look on with pride as their father lays down the law. Vincent sputters that he was appointed by their grandfather and can't be dismissed. "And what if I insist?" Dad challenges, his eyes like chips of ice. Just as the tension reaches its peak, another voice booms across the hall. What's happening here? An old, stern-looking man with a cane appears. "Who told Vincent to leave?" It's their grandfather, the head of the family, but as our girl peeks from behind her dad's leg, she sees someone else standing with him, a blonde-haired boy with a calm, almost regal demeanor. Her eyes go wide and, "Is that Big Brother?" Oh my god, the whole family is here, and the drama is about to hit a whole new level. Our girl's eyes land on a handsome blonde boy standing across the glittering ballroom, and her little Miles. Could that be Big Brother? But before she can think on it, an old man's angry voice cuts through the party chatter. What's wrong? Why is no one saving anything? The man, their teacher Vincent, is putting on a massive pity party, and our poor heroine flinches. To her, this grandpa is even scarier than the villains in her storybooks. The teacher keeps wailing, clutching his chest dramatically. "Sir, I've devoted myself to the Longchen family for years." He's really laying it on thick, talking about how he poured his heart into raising the young master. The camera pans to our ridiculously handsome dad, and his eye narrows with an icy glare. He's not buzz garbage for 1 second. He looks down at the sniveling man and utters a single, menacing word. "Explain." Immediately, his oldest son steps forward, a protective shield for his siblings. "Father, I won't let anyone bully my children," he declares, his voice firm. The floodgates open. The kids rush to their dad, and our little nugget buries her face in his suit, her voice trembling. "Daddy, I'm scared. Teacher Vincent was so mean. He even called me..." She whimpers, too scared to even finish the sentence, clutching his jacket for dear life. The second brother, shaking like a leaf, adds, "Daddy, Teacher Vincent said I'm a sports freak, said I'm useless. Am I going to grow up to be a nobody like he said?" Oh, my heart. The third brother, trying to be the calm one, points to his smashed dessert on the floor. Maybe he was just in a bad mood and accidentally knocked over my dessert. It's okay, I'm not mad at him. We see the poor, broken cake and its little bat decoration, a casualty in this chaotic war. But then a guest speaks up, blowing the teacher's cover completely. We saw it with our own eyes. Teacher Vincent purposely ruined Longchen Feng's dessert. The dad smirks. The kids are sharp, he thinks to himself, clearly proud. Then the oldest son delivers the final savage blow. You must be my grandpa. Teacher Vincent borrowed your name to boss us around and control Dad. If you didn't know any better, you'd think he's the head of the family. The shade. Our girl just watches the drama unfold from the safety of her dad's arms. Teacher Vincent goes into full panic mode, his face pale and sweatish. What nonsense are you spewing? He shrieks, but his act is falling apart. Sir, I just wanted to help educate them properly. I may have been a little strict. Suddenly, a new voice, cold as the grave, slices through the air. Educate them for me. The real grandpa appears, an eye patch giving him a menacing aura. He slowly grips his cane, his knuckles white, and Vincent starts stammering. Sir, I didn't mean to, but it's too late. The men in black appear, grabbing the disgraced teacher. He's dragged away kicking and screaming. Sir, I won't dare again, I swear. Our tiny heroine watches the whole tearing scene, burying her face in her dad's leg. That was terrifying, she whispers, trembling. The icy grandpa turns his glare on his own son. Slick-tongued, he sneers, stepping closer. He gets right in the dad's personals, his voice a low growl. You better behave yourself. And then comes that stopping threat. You wouldn't want your daughter to vanish like Kurt, would you? The dad is completely bewildered, his eyes wide with shock and confusion. What do you mean? He demands, but grandpa just waves him off. Go home and start learning the company business with your father. He walks away, leaving our MC's dad to process the chilling words as he leads his children away from the chaotic party. Just then, the blonde boy from before approaches with a perfect, polite smile. Father, it's been a while. The dad just gives a cold, one-word acknowledgement. But the youngest brother is ecstatic, running up to him. Big brother, you finally came home. Look, we have a new little sister now. The big brother gently pats his head and then kneels down to our girl's level. Tao, right? What a sweet heart, he says, his smile warm. But our heroine is in panic mode. In the story she remembers, this brother Longchen was raised by grandpa to the next heir, and a villain. What happened? Why is he back so early? Later that night, the second brother is tucked into bed, glowing with happiness. His desserts were a hit, and he can finally sleep soundly. The whole room is peaceful. But in another room, a shadow falls over our sleeping heroine. It's Longchen, the oldest brother, and his sweet smile is gone. He reaches a finger toward her cheek, his thoughts dark and twisted. Sister, oh sister, why did you have to come back? We're thrown into a flashback. It's the evil grandpa, showing a photo of his father with a beautiful blonde woman, our girl's mother. The grandpa's words drip with poison. Your father was bewitched by that woman. He's the heir. How could he stray from my plan? He glares at the photo, his silhouette menacing. That woman and her daughter are nothing but trouble. We can't let them keep disturbing your father. You know what to do. Back in the present, Yi's finger hovers over Taotao's sleeping face. She stirs, grabbing his finger in her sleep. He freezes, startled. What are you doing? He whispered. The bedroom door swings open, revealing the dad, his shirt unbuttoned, looking absolutely divine. Yi quickly puts a finger to his lips, shushing the grandpa who is apparently still with him. He tucks our girl in, his voice suddenly soft again. Sweet dreams, little sister. He stands up to face his father. I'll tuck her in. I don't want her catching a cold now that it's chilly. He explains, Dad, are you still awake? The dad's plot is short and sharp. He cuts right to the chase. What did that old man bring you back for? The dad's eyes are piercing, his arms crossed. You know what happens if you lie to me. But Yi just gives him a disarming smile. It's nothing, Dad. Grandpa just cares about my sister and wants me to teach her well. The dad is not convinced. His eyes narrow suspiciously. No need. You know I don't trust anyone. Yi's smile falters for a second. You don't trust anyone, or is it just me you don't trust? The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Suddenly, a little creak breaks the silence. A tiny figure peeks out from the bedroom door, rubbing her eyes. Big brother, why are you all at my bedroom door? The dad's menacing aura shatters instantly. He crouches down, putting on his best scaredy cat face. It's really windy tonight and I'm scared to sleep. Tao, can you stay with Dad? Our girl is completely bewildered. Gran, scared of the wind? She points to herself, utterly confused. Who? Me? Before she can even form a proper response, he swoops in. You didn't say no, so I'll take that as a yes. He scoots up and whisks her away, leaving her to whimper. I didn't even agree. He just decided for me. The oldest brother just stands there, watching them disappear down the long, moonlit hall. In the dad's opulent bedroom, our girl puffs out her chest. Dad, don't be scared. If you can't sleep, I'll sing you a lullaby. She adorably pats the bed. Come on, Dad, hurry up. He hesitates for a moment, clearly not expecting this turn of events, but he lies down obediently. Our girl gets into position, thinks for a second, and then launches into Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. She's so confident, remembering the song from the orphanage. But, honey, She is completely and utterly tone-deaf. The dad is visibly cringing. Is this off-key? But as he listens, his expression softens. Her little voice starts to get quieter and quieter as she gets sleepling. Mommy's hug is the warmest, and then she's out, conked out right on his chest. He looks down at her, bewildered. Asleep? He studies her peaceful face, a wave of emotion washing over him. It really looks like her mom's. The memory is heart-wrenching. A beautiful woman in a garden of flowers. A tender embrace. Then, tears streaming down her face as she pleads, Longchen Tao, please forget me. The dad's thoughts are a storm of pain. What happened back then to make her leave me? And how did she have my child? He's jolted back to reality when Tao Tao, in her sleep, yells no, no, snacks, don't spill them, and promptly rolls off his chest with a crash. He looks at her sprawled-out form and thinks with a tired sigh, this part is not like her mom. He gently pulls the covers over her, a small, weary sigh escaping him. He starts to sing the lullaby himself, his voice soft as he gently pats her to sleep. He tenderly brushes a strand of hair from her forehead. This is the first time I've felt something like this. He thinks, a strange warmth spreading through his chest. As he lies down beside her, watching her sleep, a genuine smile touches his lips. It doesn't feel all that bad. Lately, our girl has noticed her big brother is always there, appearing like magic whenever she needs him. He effortlessly grabs a book from a high shelf for her. But he's also a total dork, not even realizing he's bleeding from a paper cut until she points it out. She's grown so used to him being her knight in shining armor that when she trips, she just calls for him, and sure enough, he catches her in an instant. She feels so safe and happy with him around, just a beaming little ball of sunshine. He just watches her with a soft, knowing smile. The two of them head to the restaurant hand in hand, where Daddy immediately scoops her up. Tao Tao, how about sleeping with Daddy again tonight? He asks, already addicted to his new teddy bear. Just then, the other two brothers burst in, waving their report cards. I did it! I improved my math score by more than 20 points, and I won the gold medal in shot put. One cheers. The other chimes in, I accidentally got first place in the whole grade. They both give our girl the credit, saying her doodles helped them focus. The family dissolves into a pile of happy, chaotic teasing, with AI looking on fondly. The second brother gets a brilliant idea. Daddy, since we both improved, can't we get a reward? Like a vacation at the mountain villa? The others start roasting him about past vacation mishaps, but our girl's eyes are sparkling. Wow, I haven't had a vacation yet. I want to go stargazing. That's all it takes. The dad capes. A vacation is fine, but he adds a cruel twist, but Yai stays behind. The kids are aghast. Our girl tugs on his sleeve, her eyes wide and pleading. Daddy, ever since brother came back, he hasn't gone out to play with us even once. The others quickly agree, arguing that he's mature and will be a big help, and that they miss his cooking. Overwhelmed by the united front of puppy dog eyes, the dad finally sighs in defeat. Fine, we'll all go. The kids erupt in a massive group hug, cheering and thank him. It's the most adorable family pile-up you've ever seen. After breakfast, as the kids scatter to pack, the dad stops AE. His voice is low and serious. Don't let me catch you up to anything shady. AE just smiles. Daddy, you're overthinking things. But as he turns to leave, his dad's eyes lock onto his forehead. He reaches out and gently places a band-aid over the paper cut from earlier. AA freezes, completely stunned. Daddy, didn't the old man teach you to treat a wound when you get hurt? The dad grumbles, turning away without another word. But the gesture speaks volumes. AA is overcome with emotion, so Daddy's been secretly watching over us this whole time. Thank you, Daddy. In that moment, he realizes something profound. Just like Grandpa said, Daddy's really changed a lot because of my sister. Our little nugget stretches with the biggest yawn you've ever seen, her tiny body waking up in a ridiculously fancy bedroom. She is pumped. Today is vacation day, and after being stuck in this world for so long, our girl is ready for a change of scenery. She's practically vibrating with excitement, bouncing on the bed thinking about the pretty dress Sister Kelly is gonna help her pick out. She throws her arms in the air with a gleeful yahoo! But her happy little bounce sends her flying right into a solid chest. Ah! She looks up, her eyes wide, and there he is. The villain Duke, her new daddy, looking down at her with a surprisingly soft smile. You're happy today, he says, his voice smooth as silk. Daddy. Absolutely beaming. He swoops her up into his arms, and she declares she is 100 points happy. And honestly, it's the truth. A flashback to her lonely past life flickers through her mind, a solitary girl watching families on outings, her heart aching for something she never had. But now, snuggled against her dad's chest, she feels a warmth she's only ever dreamed of. The word echoes in her mind, family, and just like that, the happy bubble pops. Her eyes widen in a moment of heart-stopping realization. When did I start thinking of them as my family? Her sudden serious face doesn't go unnoticed. Her dad leans in, concerned. What's wrong? Before she can spiral, he playfully pinches her little nose. Thinking fast, she blurts out the first thing that comes to mind. It's nothing, Daddy. I was just thinking about what hairstyle I should have Sister Kelly do for me. To her horror, his expression turns dead serious. How about... Daddy is your hair today. Panic mode activated. A traumatic memory flashes before her eyes. The last time he tried, he turned her adorable hair into a chaotic mess of twigs sticking out of her head. Oh no, but he's already radiating an unnerving confidence. Leave it to me, he says, holding her steady. She thinks he sounds just like her third brother, and now she knows exactly where that chaotic confidence comes from. And then, get this, he puts on glasses and starts cramming from a book on hairstyling like it's a final exam. This man is a menace. His hands, surprisingly gentle, begin to work on her hair. Our poor heroine is trembling, convinced this is going to be a disaster. Is this really going to work, she wonders, just as he announces, done? He looks at his reflection with a smug little smile, clearly proud of his work. She cautiously peeks at the mirror and her drops. It's perfect. Two of the most adorable, neat little braids she's ever seen. Wow, oh my! Her dad, suddenly flustered by her reaction, asks, does it look bad? Without a word, she launches herself at him, wrapping her tiny arms around his neck in a massive hug. Super happy daddy. This hairstyle is so pretty. Tears of gratitude well up in her eyes. She can't believe he studied so hard just for her. He tries to play it cool, scoffing that it was easy stuff, but we all know he's secretly swooning. Just then, a voice calls her name, and her white-haired brother peeks into the room. He pushes the door open, a bright smile on his face, which immediately vanishes when he sees our girl already dolled up and in their dad's arms. The betrayal, steam practically pours from his ears. Daddy, you beat me to it. I was gonna braid her hair myself, he wails, stomping his foot. Dad just gives him a savage side eye. That's what you get for waking up late. The little brother pouts, vowing to be earlier next time. Seriously, why is everyone so obsessed with her hair? The family fun is interrupted when her other two brothers appear, snack basket in tow, to announce that the car is here. But the oldest brother's eyes hold a menacing glint. Looks like Grandpa is making his move soon. The family arrives at a breathtaking lakeside picnic spot. Our little nugget is in heaven, sitting on a blanket piled high with sweets and strawberries. Her dad watches her, his expression unbelievably soft, thinking he should do this more often. Her brothers are trying their luck at fishing nearby. The third brother proudly yanks a fish out of the water, boasting that he's going to catch the biggest one. The eldest brother watches with a small, knowing smile, but in his excitement, the third brother gets too close to the slippery edge and loses his footing. He goes tumbling into the water with a splash. Everyone is in panic mode. Dad's face is a mask of shock, while the others scream his name. They pull the soggy boy out, and his second brother immediately starts pulling his ears, scolding him for being so clumsy. The eldest brother decides to go check on our girl. Meanwhile, Sister Kelly has brought a basket of snacks from the second brother. Our girl eagerly reaches for something that looks like caterpillar bread, remembering his weird but tasty creations. She pokes it, and it wriggles. Her face turns pale with horror. Why? Is it moving? After a moment of pure terror, she realizes it's not actually alive. The second brother pops up, looking immensely proud. My newly developed moving confectionery, the Wrigley Frosting Worm. How to do? The eldest brother just deadpans. Is it edible? Our girl, complete with little indignant cat ears, points a finger at him. You're so mean. To make up for it, the second brother presents her with an adorable strawberry monster cake. She takes a big, happy bite, and it's absolutely delicious. But her sweet treat has attracted to some unwanted guests, a massive swarm of bees. They're buzzing right for her and her cake. The brothers scream for her to watch out as the bees surround her. She panics, covering her head and trying to wave them away. In a flash, her eldest brother is there, shielding her with his own body. But he's not the only hero. Daddy swoops in, snatching her up. Don't be afraid, Daddy's here, he roars, calling for the butler. And friends, this butler is not playing around. He appears like an action hero, dual-wielding bug spray cans against a backdrop of literal flames. It's the most chaotic and glorious thing I've ever seen. With a final paff, the last bee falls, and the butler gives a cool thumbs up. Our poor heroine is trembling in her dad's arms, her eyes wide with fright. He holds her tight, patting her back gently. But across the field, the eldest brother's eyes are icy as he glares at someone off-screen, a silent, menacing promise in his gaze. As Dad carries her away, the eldest brother looks utterly defeated. Still no luck, he mutters. That night, our girl is getting ready for her main mission, getting her villain dad to sleep. She's peeking around a corner, looking like the world's most adorable secret agent. When Sister Kelly finds her, Kelly tells her that the young master has summoned her to the lake. She says it's urgent. Uh-oh, this feels like a trap. Kelly carries the unsuspecting lead through a field of white flowers under the moonlight. Our girl looks around, wondering where her brother is. Suddenly, a hand shoves her hard from behind. She slips on the muddy bank, crying out as she loses her balance. But another hand grabs her just in time, yanking her back from the edge. It's her big brother. Are you all right? He asks, his voice tight with worry. He pulls her into a hug, and she breathes a sigh of relief. He turns to Kelly with a look that could freeze fire and dismisses her. Kelly walks away with a chillingly pleasant smile, thinking how convenient it is that the young master is always there to save the day. As Kelly leaves, our girl's mind starts racing. There have been a lot of accidents lately, and her brother has been at the scene of every single one. He must notice her suspicion because he asks, "What's Tao thinking about?" He pokes her nose gently, but his smile is sharp. "Are you wondering why I'm always there when you're in danger? Tao, are you starting not to trust me too?" The blood runs cold in her veins. She remembers the novel. He always used a gentle smile to hide his deadliest traps. Could it all be fake? But then she looks into his eyes and sees a profound loneliness that stops her heart. She remembers his tragic story, a puppet caught between his father and grandfather, never truly belonging anywhere. Maybe this is someone to finally chim. In that moment, she makes her choice. With the brightest, most genuine smile she can muster, she looks him in the eye and says, "I trust you, brother." He freezes, his eyes welling with tears. "You trust me? Why?" He whispers, bewildered. She tells him it's because he's always there, always watching over her, always protecting her. She holds out her hand. "Thank you." A real, gentle smile finally breaks through his carefully constructed mask. And just as they have this beautiful, heart-wrenching moment of connection, Ahan shoves her into the lake. She hits the icy water with a huge splash. As she sinks, she sees the culprit. Sister Kelly, a twisted, menacing sneer on her face. Panic claws at her throat. She can't swim. She thrashes, screaming for help as she breaks the surface. Without a second of hesitation, her big brother dives in after her. "Tao, don't be scared! Grab my hand," he yells, fighting through the cold water. He reaches her, pulling her into his arms. "I've got you." But just as he secures her, a sharp cramp seizes his leg. He cries out in pain, his strength failing him. They both begin to sink into the dark abyss. But then a dark figure slices through the water. It's Dad. He bursts from the lake, holding both of his unconscious children in his arms, his face a mask of pure terror. He lays them on the grass, and her brother coughs up water, gasping for air. But our girl isn't waking up. Her dad pats her cheek frantically, his voice cracking. Tao, wake up!" Her brother watches, horrified, and apologizes through his tears. "Father, I'm sorry. I didn't watch my sister properly." Dad snaps, his voice raw with fear. You knew you couldn't swim. Why would you jump in? What if something happened to you too?" The brother stares, stunned. In his father's terrified eyes, he sees his own reflection. He was worried about him. Dad shakes it off, barking orders to get a doctor immediately. Back in her room, the doctor confirms she'll be okay. As she stirs, the first word she murmurs is "Daddy." She wakes up, her eyes fluttering open. Her father leans over her, his face etched with worry. "Do you feel unwell anywhere?" She shakes her head and apologizes for scaring him. But then she asks the one question he doesn't want to hear. "Where's Big Brother?" His expression turns icy. "You just woke up and the first thing you care about is that boy. Did he threaten you?" She sits bolt upright, panic-stricken. "No, Big Brother saved me. Daddy, please don't punish him." A possessive smirk plays on his lips. "I saved you too. So why don't I get your concern?" This girl is a pro. She immediately snuggles up to him, laying on the flattery thick. "Thank goodness for Daddy, you saved my life. Daddy is the best, the coolest." It works, but she's still worried sick he kicked her brother out. Her fears are put to rest when all three brothers appear in the doorway, their faces pale with worry. She quickly tells them she's fine, and her eldest brother breathes a sigh of relief. "Thanks for speaking up for me, little sister," he says, before turning to his father. "And thank you too, Father, for saving me." Dad, ever the tsundere, just grunts and tells the steward to get some ginger cola to ward off the chill. The brothers realize he's still in his soaking wet clothes. He was so worried he didn't even think to change. Our girl smiles. This is a huge step forward for their broken family. Now for the final, crucial question. Dad's eyes turn menacing. "Tao, did you see who pushed you?" She takes a deep breath, ready to expose the villain. "Daddy, the one who pushed me was Kay." But before she can say the name, the door bursts open and Sister Kelly rushes in, sobbing hysterically. "Young miss, thank heavens you're safe." She collapses on the floor, wailing about how she couldn't live if anything happened to her. Our heroine is completely bewildered, staring at the chaotic scene. What the heck? What is this act supposed to be now? The scene opens on pure chaos, with a young boy looking completely bewildered and on the verge of tears. His face is flushed as he points an accusing finger, his voice trembling with outrage. "You're wicked. You're the one who pushed me into the water." His target, a young maid who flinches back, bowing deeply. Tears well up in her eyes as she pleads her case. "Miss, why are you lying about me? I was only recently assigned to serve by your side. I truly felt honored. How could I ever think of harming you?" And honestly, her performance is heart-wrenching, but our boy isn't buying it for a second. He's thinking she deserves an Oscar for this level of barefaced lying. The maid continues her dramatic monologue, swearing she was nowhere near him when he fell. She insists that after the young master came back, mishaps just started happening one after another. begging him not to believe the rumors. She then turns her teary eyes towards our tiny heroine Tao Tao, who is sitting on a nearby couch, looking like a small, confused potato. But before the maid can launch into another sob story, a hand slices through the air and a cold, menacing voice snaps. And look who it is. Daddy Duke has entered the chat. He swoops in, effortlessly lifting our little nugget into his arms. His expression is pure ice as he glares at the servant, thinking to himself that his own father is getting dumber with age, trying to use a maid to sow discord in his family. Tao Tao, nestled safely in his arms, just looks up him and whispers, "Dad." The maid is literally trembling in her boots under his gaze. The Duke holds his daughter close and says with chilling confidence, "I believe in my son." The boy Ai looks up at his father, his eyes wide with shock and a glimmer of hope. "Father," he whispers. The Duke looks down at him, his voice firm. "Can you resolve this?" As Tao Tao peeks over her dad's shoulder with her adorable, curious eyes, Ai gets a surge of confidence. He smiles, placing a hand over his heart. "Rest assured, father." And then our boy goes into full detective mode. He lunges forward and grabs the maid's wrist, making her yelp in surprise. He holds up her hand, examining a red mark. "Sister Kelly, did a bee sting your hand?" he asks, his eyes sharp. He points out that the bees from earlier don't just sting people for no reason. He then pulls out a small cloth bib. "However, when I checked the bib my sister was wearing before she fell into the water," he reveals the shocking truth. The bib had special pollen on it, the very kind that attracted those bees. "No doubt when you tied the bib on her, the pollen rubbed off on you. So you got stung," he declares, his voice ringing with conviction. Cornered, the maid's face twists into a sinister smirk. She tries to bluff, demanding evidence. "I was stung by accident, that's all." Ai's eyes glint. "Evidence, is it? Fine." He turns to his silver-haired brother. "Ai, turn off the lights." With a determined shout, Ai immediately flicks the switch, plunging the entire room into darkness. For a moment, everyone is bewildered. Then our girl pipes up, explaining to her daddy that she wanted to see fireflies, so her brothers made some for her. She looks so proud and happy. A quick flashback shows the brothers having the time of their lives, scattering fluorescent powder everywhere to create a magical playground for their sister. Back in the dark room, the trap is sprung. Ai is still holding the maid's wrist. He gently tells Tao Tao to turn around, guiding her so her back is facing the maid. And there it is, the smoking gun, a perfect, glowing green handprint on the back of Tao Tao's dress, illuminated in the dark. Ai holds the maid's hand right next to it. "If it wasn't you, then let's compare hand sizes." Panic mode activated. The maid completely snaps. With a wild scream, she pulls a dagger from her dress, her face contorted with rage. "It's all your fault. Why would you betray master?" Tao Tao's eyes widen in terror. "Watch out!" The maid lunges, swinging the blade wildly. "This is what happens to those who betray master." But Ai stands his ground, his voice filled with newfound strength. "I've had enough of being a puppet on strings." He parries her attack with a savage swipe of his own. But before he can land a blow, a black-clad figure moves like lightning. It's the Duke. He shields Tao Tao instantly, and with one powerful kick, sends the dagger flying out of the maid's hand. The butler immediately commands men, "Seize her." Our little nugget looks up at her dad, her eyes sparkling with hero worship. "Daddy, you're super cool." The Duke actually blushes, trying to hide his proud smile with a cough. He is totally basking in it. Even while being dragged away, the maid is cackling like a maniac. "Ha ha ha! Don't get cocky! You'll never defeat master." The Duke leans in close, his voice dropping to a menacing whisper. "Go back and tell that man." His eyes are practically glowing with protective rage. "If he dares lay a finger on my child." He holds Tao Tao tighter, his aura absolutely terrifying. "I'll never let him off." As the guards haul the psycho maid away, the Duke turns to her one last time. He delivers the final, devastating blow. "Furthermore, let him know." He looks at his son, his eyes filled with a promise. Ai won't be coming back. Later, after the chaos has settled, Ai approaches his father cautiously. "Dad, do I really not have to go to Grandpa's anymore?" he asks, his voice barely a whisper. The Duke kneels down, his expression softer than we've ever seen it. He gently pats his son's head, but Ai is bewildered, asking why his dad, who always seemed to dislike and distrust him, is suddenly doing this. The Duke's answer is simple and direct. "I've always trusted you." A gentle smile graces his lips, leaving our girl completely confused by the grown-up talk. He explains that he knew the old man, Grandpa, would try to use Tao Tao to manipulate Ai. He brought him home to protect him from being forced into a life he didn't want. "So that's how it was." "Ai, I'm sorry," the Duke says, his voice thick with emotion. He admits he used to think living with the old man would be good for Ai's future as the heir. But then he pulls his son into a tight hug. "However, I didn't know you were suffering so much." Ai, buried in his father's embrace, just smiles softly and says, "I'm the eldest, so it's my duty." The hug is so tight it makes him let out a little oof, but before the moment can get too sentimental, Tao Tao puffs out her cheeks indignant. "Who's the oldest has to suffer?" "Big brother, you're wrong." She points to all her brothers in turn. or the second brother, or the third brother, or the fourth brother. No one should have to suffer. She finishes with a beam that could outshine the sun, looking absolutely precious. E's heart melts. Tao is right, he says with a grin. The Duke, feeling a bit left out, chimes in, what about me? Tao just thinks to herself that her dad is a big dummy for not understanding. He gets all the love. She toddles over to him, and he can't resist pinching her squishy cheeks as she babbles happily. But just as things get cute, the Duke's face turns serious. However, there's something I haven't settled you all yet. Sneaking out to play behind my back? The brothers immediately go into panic and pout mode, trying to sweet-talk their way out of trouble. It's a full-on cuteness assault. One brother grabs his hand while Tao plants a big smooch on his cheek, and soon he's being buried in a group hug. He tries to stay mad, but you can tell he's actually dying of happiness on the inside. The other brothers call him out on his double standards, and he finally caves. He promises to take them to see real fireflies, and our girl starts squealing with pure, unadulterated joy. And he keeps his promise, under a giant, beautiful moon. They go to a field filled with twinkling fireflies. It's a breathtakingly magical sight. The Duke holds Tao up so she can see better, the four boys standing together, finally a complete family. Later that night, he gently tucks a sleeping Tao into her bed. He turns to the boys, telling them to go to sleep too, only to find them all passed out in a giant, adorable puppy pile. As he watches them, a rare, soft smile touches his lips. But as he turns to leave, a small hand grabs his coat. It's murmuring in his sleep, Dad, don't leave me. It's absolutely heart-wrenching. The Duke's expression softens completely. He takes his son's hand and whispers a promise. From now on, Dad will always be with you. And he's watching over all his children as they sleep peacefully together in one big bed. But while our family is finally finding peace, a storm is brewing elsewhere. At Graz's villa, a chessboard is sent flying as he seethes with fury. How dare they defy me? He growls, his face a mask of cold rage. He slams a black king piece down onto a photo of his own son. Since they refuse to be obedient, then it's time to start a new game of chess. Meanwhile, back in the puppy pile, the Duke gets a rude awakening from a tiny foot kicking him square in the face. The joys of fatherhood. Sometime later, the family arrives back at their magnificent home, and Tao is practically bouncing with joy. Holding her brother's hands, she thinks to herself that for the first time, she has a real home and a family that's all hers. The Duke sees her happy smile and asks what she's thinking about. She just beams. It's nothing. I'm so happy to see Dad and my brothers. She wiggles out of his arms to celebrate with her brothers that their family is finally complete. The Duke watches them, a look of contentment on his face, but then a shadow flickers in his eyes. He looks out at the sunlight, a deep longing on his face as he thinks, but what about you? Where on earth are you? Years fly by in a whirlwind of happiness. It's now our girl's 7th birthday. She knows the tragic plot of the original novel is looming, so every year she makes the same wish: to protect her family and stop them from becoming cannon fodder. Her brothers shower her with gifts, and then it's Dad's turn. He clears his throat, presenting a small, elegant box. One brother immediately scoffs at the size, but the Duke silences him with a single, terrifying glare. Inside is a breathtaking diamond necklace shaped like stars. Tao loves it instantly. He puts it on her, and she looks like a true princess, planting a sweet thank you kiss on his cheek. Just as the brothers start bickering over whose gift was better, the butler enters with a grim look. He's holding a banquet invitation from the old master, an invitation that specifically demands the children attend. The Duke's face turns to stone. The butler whispers the horrifying news. Grandpa plans to arrange a marriage with the Murong family. Tao's heart drops. Is Grandpa trying to find us a stepmom? She asks, worried. Ai confirms her fears. He heard the whole thing. The brothers are in an uproar, absolutely refusing to accept some strange woman into their family. The Duke reassures them, his voice with steel. Don't worry, I won't agree. I still haven't found her. I'm not giving up. The day of the banquet arrives. The kids are all dressed up, looking like royalty, but they're huddled together plotting. Grandpa announces the marriage. They're going to cause a scene so huge the Murong family will run for the hills. They approach their grandfather, who stands with the Murong family, the old man's face grim. Come here, he commands. Meet Mr. and Mrs. Murong. The Duke's eyes lock onto a beautiful young woman with them, and he immediately snaps at his father. I advise you not to try and use me. I won't let you get your way. But Grandpa just scoffs. He bangs his cane for attention and takes the stage, a smug look on his face. I've gathered you all today to announce something important, he begins. The Longchen family and the Murong family have decided on a marriage alliance. One of my 3 grandsons will be chosen by Miss Wanking of the Murong family to set up a childhood engagement. The room explodes. Hell. The 3 brothers are frozen in shock, their faces a perfect picture of horror. But our poor heroine is in absolute panic mode. Her eyes are wide with terror, a single thought screaming in her mind. This is bad. How could it be Hihiar? Because she knows exactly who Murong Wanking is. She is the female lead of the original novel. The very woman who pits the 3 brothers against each other. turning them into villains and leading them down a dark, tragic path of no return. Our poor heroine has a sudden heart-stopping realization. This is it. The Banquet scene from the original novel, the one where everything goes wrong. This is where the original heroine falls for the male lead, and tragically where her three brothers fall for her at first sight too. Her mind flashes through the heart-wrenching future she's so desperate to avoid. It's a cascade of tragedy. The obsessive love her brothers develop for the heroine leads them all to ruin. The eldest brother goes completely dark, trying to imprison the woman he loves, only to die of pure despair when he can't win her heart. The second brother, twisted by jealousy, tries to poison the male lead. But his plot is discovered, and he ends up drinking the poison himself. And the third brother, he spirals into crime and violence in his fight for the heroine, a path that lands him in prison, shackled and broken. A blood-soaked image of his back, surrounded by flames and handcuffs, flashes through her mind. She can't let that happen, not to her family. As her brothers start walking toward the commotion surrounding the heroine, our girl enters full-blown panic mode. "What do we do, sis? I'm still too young," one of them says, completely oblivious. But she knows better. Her mind is racing. Let's just wreck the brothers' first meeting with the heroine. No love at first sight, no trouble. But as she's scrambling to think, her tiny feet get tangled and she stumbles right into someone's back. "Ah!" she cries out, her little bumbly tumbling through the air. And in that split second of falling, it hits her. I remember. This is the initial meeting from the original. This is exactly how the main characters meet. A hand reaches out, catching the original heroine, Murong Wanking, just before she hits the ground. The hand belongs to a handsome boy with striking blue eyes, Sikong Jing, the male lead. "Are you alright?" His voice smooth and concerned. Wanking looks up, her cheeks flushed, completely flustered and captivated. Our girl watches the scene unfold, her own eyes wide with horror. That's him. That's the male lead. It's all lining up perfectly, just like in the book. And worse, her brothers are now approaching them, about to witness the heroine's strength and kindness that will doom them all. The wheels of their tragic fate are beginning to turn, and she can hear the crowd murmuring about the girl who fell. Her brothers are right there, about to walk into the trap. "Buggy brother, there. Sorry, brother." Dunt groom, her voice filled with desperation. The three boys stop, completely bewildered, turning to look at their little sister. "Tao Tao? What's wrong?" one asks, confused. She has to do something, anything. Her eyes dart around frantically, and then a tiny light bulb goes off in her head. She's got an idea. With the drama of a seasoned actress, she throws herself onto a bench overflowing with white roses, clutching her leg. "Oh," she wails, her eyes welling up with fake tears. "Ivy twisted my ankle. It hurts so much." And just like that, the spell is broken. Her brothers forget all about the other girl and rush to her side. "How clumsy of you," the third brother scolds glee. "Where does it hurt?" "Leg brother, have a look," the second says, his voice laced with worry. The youngest is already in a tizzy, shouting, "I'll go fetch a doctor." It worked, but her victory is short-lived. The original heroine herself, Murong Wanking, approaches them with a concerned look. "Are you alright? Do you need me to—" Our girl's internal monologue is a savage scream. "No! No! Don't come closer! I must sabotage your first meeting with my brothers." Another genius plan sparks in her mind. She launches herself off the bench and clings to Wanking in a desperate hug. "Oh, deranged. I'm in so much pain. Could you come with me to doctor?" she pleads in the most pitiful voice she can muster. She looks up with wide, teary eyes, adding, "Girls take better care of girls. Father and my brothers are all clumsy." Wanking, being the sweet person she is, immediately agrees. "Of course I'll look after you," she says with a kind smile. "Wonderful," our Nugget exclaims, her plan perfectly in motion. Her brother asks Miss Murong to take care of Tao Tao, and they'll wait in the lounge. "Alright, I'll take good care of her," Wanking promises. Our girl keeps up the act, whining, "It hurts so much, Miss Murong. Let's hurry and go," as she's led away. Her internal mission status, goal achieved. No first meeting, no cannon fodder, just peace and love. As they walk away, she waves back at her brothers, who are now safely out of the heroine's orbit. But not everyone is fooled. From a distance, the male lead, Sikong Jing, watches them go, his eyes narrowed in suspicion. "She doesn't look injured to me," he thinks, a thoughtful frown on his face. What is she trying to do by acting like that? Once they're safely in the villa garden, our girl peeks back to make sure the coast is clear. She lets out a sigh of relief. "I must have destroyed the crucial turning point, where the heroine meets her brothers, right? Perfect. That should cut off the tragic plot." She turns to Wanking with a bright smile. "Miss Murong, actually, my foot doesn't really hurt that much anymore, so you can go back to the banquet. I'll find a doctor myself." Wanking just smiles gently. "There is no need to be so formal. Just call me Wanking." But then her expression turns knowing. "Alright, Miss Wanking, but why are you looking at me like that?" our girl asks, a little nervous. Wanking leans in slightly. "Tao Tao, your foot isn't actually injured, is it?" "Busted." Our girl breaks out in a cold sweat, stammering denials. But Wanking is way too sharp. She gently pinches Tao Tao's squishy cheek. Back in Banquet Hall, when you fell, I saw very clearly that your ankle never touched the ground. Our desperate MC is doomed. The heroine's insight is on another level. I didn't mean to deceive you, Our girl begins, fidgeting with her fingers, looking for all the world like a guilty kitten. But instead of getting angry, Wonking just covers her mouth and lets out a soft laugh. Huh? Our girl looks up, completely bewildered. Wonking gently pinches both her cheeks. All right. I won't tease you anymore. Your smile looks so much nicer. Please stop frowning. Her voice is so kind, it's disarming. If you don't want to say it, I won't ask. I believe you must have your reasons for doing this. But, she adds, her eyes sparkling, if one day you're willing to tell me, promise me you'll let me be the first to know. This is not the woman from the novel. Our girl is stunned. Why does this heroine feel kinda cute, she thinks to herself. Before, I was worried the main cast would harm my dad and brothers, so I didn't like her. But now she seems like such a gentle girl. Wonking suggests they head back, but Tao Tao shakes her head, saying it's too noisy and she prefers the fresh air. To her surprise, Wonking agrees and kneels down by a rose bush. This is so strange. The novel described Wonking as a social climber who loved crowds and currying favor. But this girl seems content just to admire the flowers. Wonking picks a small blossom. It's nicer to just admire the flowers here. Don't you think this little blossom is lovely? It's as pretty as you are, our girl blurts out, and the two share an adorable moment. Their peaceful bonding is shattered by a furious shout. Longchen Tao! Both girls flinch as the male lead, Sikong Jing, storms towards them, his face a mask of rage. Let go of Miss Murung. What are you trying to do to her? He glares down at our tiny heroine, looking absolutely menacing. Are you alright? Did she force you out here? He asks Wonking, completely ignoring our girl's existence. Wonking tries explain. You've misunderstood, I came out willingly. But he's not listening. Willingly? She faked being ill in the banquet hall just now, all to lure you out, didn't she? He then gets personal. My dad said the Longchen family is up to no good. They're always stealing his business. Sheesh, that's nonsense, our girl snaps back, furious. But his next accusation hits a little too close to home. Why don't you want them to get afraid Miss Murong will steal your spotlight? Her eyes widen in panic as she almost blurts out the truth. Of course not. I'm afraid it'll be like in the novel. She clamps her mouth shut just in time. Wonking steps between them, trying to de-escalate. Young Master Sikong, calm down, Tao Tao isn't a bad person. But he's relentless. Not a bad person? Then why did she lie? He puffs out his chest, ready to continue his tirade. Suddenly, a calm, mocking voice drifts down from above. A Jing bullying a child. That's not very nice, is it? They all look up to see a boy with striking silver hair lounging on a tree branch, casually holding an apple. He has a smug, knowing smile on his face. This is Sikong Fei, Sikong Jing's older brother. Sikong Jing is completely flustered. What are you doing here? Sikong Fei hops down with effortless grace. Obviously, to watch the show, he says with a smirk. After all, moments that can get you this riled up don't come around often. He saunters past his fuming brother and leans down, getting uncomfortably close to our girl's face. The air crackles with tension. So he murmurs, his eyes glinting, You must be the little girl from the Longchen family? Our girl, though intimidated, introduces herself. She racks her brain, certain she's seen his face before, but can't place it. My name is Sikong Fei, he says with a charming smile. I'm a Jing's older brother. He was too reckless just now, so let me apologize on his behalf. Our girl is completely bewildered. Sikong Fei, there was no such character in the novel. The younger brother whines, Brother, she's from the Longchen family. Dad said they're all bad people, but one icy glance from his older brother shuts him up instantly. Ah, so the little tyrant is afraid of his big brother. Interesting. Sikong Fei calmly schools his brother on business competition, then orders him to take Miss Murong back to the banquet. With a final annoyed attach, the younger brother leaves. Sikong Fei turns back to our girl, his smile returning. Until we meet again, Tao Tao, he says, before turning to leave as well. She watches them walk away, and then quickly calls out, Thank you for helping me out of that situation. Sikong Fei stops and turns back, but his smile is now cold and unsettling. Helping you out? Oh, you seem to be misunderstanding something. In a flash, he's right in front of her, backing her against a tree trunk. His voice drops to a low whisper. You seem to be blending in quite well here. Panic mode activated. This guy is not in the script. She has no idea who he is or how to deal with him. Then he drops the ultimate bombshell, his eyes boring into hers. You're not really from his world, are you? He crosses his arms, a smug, confident smirk on his face, as if he's already won. Our girl is trembling, trying to laugh it off. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. But he's not letting it go. Do you really not know? When you said you were afraid things might turn out like in the novel, what did you mean by that? He has her cornered, literally and figuratively. Then why don't you want your brothers to have any contact with Miss Murong? I just like reading novels, that's all, she stammers, trying to find a plausible lie. Well, Tell me. He presses, his gaze unwavering. She finally snaps. You're the one asking weird questions, she yells, flailing her arms. I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm leaving. She pushes past him and makes a run for it, her little legs carrying her away as fast as they can. Sikongfei watches her flee, a slow, intrigued smile spreading across his face. Interesting, he muses to himself. Could she be the one I'm looking for? He leans against the tree, looking far too pleased with the chaos he's caused. Back inside the grand hall, her family swarms her with worry. Ta, why are you only back now? Does your foot still hurt? Her father's face is etched with concern while her brothers offer to rub her foot for her. She quickly explains away her absence, but as she does, her eyes lock with someone across the room. It's him, that strange man. He gives her a little wave and a knowing smile. She freezes, a look of horror on her face. Her brother notices. What's wrong, Tao Tao? You don't look so good. You're staring at that fellow. Did he do something? I'll drag him over here. What? No, tired brother. She shrieks, grabbing his arm. Don't go over there. I'm fine, really. I'm just a little tired and want to go home. Can we go home now? She pleads, forcing a shaky laugh. Seeing she's distressed, her father agrees, and they prepare to leave. But as they go, a cold voice cuts through the air. An old man, her grandfather, scoffs. Tisha, a useless family fussing endlessly over one little girl. Still, perhaps I can make use of that. Her father scoops her into a protective embrace as the grandfather continues his menacing speech. I don't care what you want, but you'd better decide who will marry into the Murong family. Their resources can help the Longchen family rise to the top, and I will not allow mistakes. Her father's eyes narrow with fury. Holding his daughter tighter, he snaps with an icy voice. Father, I'll say it once more. Neither I nor my child will ever be your pawns. Give up on that idea. Our girl looks up at her dad, seeing a fierce, protective side of him she's never witnessed before. The grandfather merely smirks. Then we'll see who wins this gamble, he says, before turning and walking away into the glittering, empty ballroom. Our poor little nugget is completely overwhelmed, tears welling in her eyes. Why is everyone suddenly threatening me? Wah! Under the vast moonlit sky, a magnificent villa stands silent, but inside, our poor heroine's mind is in total chaos. She sits perched on a giant sofa, her tiny face cupped in her hands, looking absolutely defeated. Ugh, it was so hard getting my villain dad and my brothers on the right path. She thinks, dramatically flopping onto her back. The world just refuses to let them live in peace. And now there's this new chaotic element, a mysterious boy with icy blue eyes who claimed he's not from this world. Could he be like her? A shiver runs down her spine. He might seem like a good guy, but her instincts are screaming. Whatever happens, she hopes she never has to see him again. Suddenly, her brothered faces pop into view, huddled over her like concerned mother hens. What's wrong, Tao Tao? Did Grandpa? The silver-haired one, Longchen Yi, suddenly clenches his fists with a determined look. Let Emmy handle the childhood engagement, he declares, crossing his arms with an air of absolute authority. That way, Grandpa won't be able to make trouble anymore. Our girl just stares, completely bewildered. Oh, nonsense. What are you talking about, brother? He just brushes off her shock, saying they can just cancel the marriage when they're older. Her other brothers start murmuring that Yi's actually gotten smarter, but the fear is real Grandpa will be ruthless. The sheer chaos of this plan sends our desperate MC into panic mode. You can't, she shrieks, leaping up and pinching all of their cheeks in a desperate attempt to stop this madness. Tears well up in her eyes. My brothers have such wild ideas, she sniffles. But you're all rushing to her yourselves. That won't do. Just then, a calm, deep voice cuts through the tension. It's Dad. Tao Tao's right, he says, his expression grim. We can't let the old man control us anymore. He walks over and sits down, his gaze serious and unwavering. Then, in one swift motion, he scoops the little nugget into his arms, holding her close. I've decided, he announces, his voice dangerously low. We're leaving the Longchen family. Starting today, we will cut ties completely. Gasp. He actually did it, stunned. She never expected him to be this decisive. The brothers are just as shocked, but a new fear creeps in. What if Grandpa retaliates, especially against Tao Tao? But Dad's gaze is firm. He looks daughter, his expression softening. Don't worry, I'll make arrangements for our protection. I won't let him harm Tao Tao. Hearing this, our girl sits up straight in his lap, her chest puffed out with adorable bravery. I'm not afraid. With Dad and brothers around, Grandpa can't bully me, she declares. For the first time, she truly feels what it's like to be cared for. Dad smiles, ruffling her hair. All right, leave the rest to me. By the way, you start school tomorrow, right? She chirps, absolutely beaming. The brothers exchange a look, a silent agreement passing between them. I guess that's how it has to be. Later that night, tucked snugly in her bed, Tao Tao smiles. Finally, everything seems settled. I hope school goes smoothly tomorrow, she thinks, drifting off to sleep. The next day, they arrive at a beautiful, sprawling school campus. But peace is short-lived. Whispers immediately start following them. Is that the Longchen family? I heard their pastries are weird but taste amazing. Our girl tries to shrink behind her three towering, handsome brothers. She just wants everyone to stop talking already. Suddenly, a basketball comes flying right at them. Without even flinching, Longchen snatches it out of the air. The poor kid who threw it looks like he's about to cry. The whispers continue, now focused on the adorable little girl surrounded by the famous Longchen brothers. One of the girls flinches under the red-haired brother's menacing glare. Another girl shyly tries to hand the blonde brother a gift, but he gently pushes it away. "Thank you for your thought," he says with a disarming smile, "but please don't crowd my sister." That's the last straw for our independent heroine. She throws her arms out wide, shouting, "Enough!" Her brothers freeze, bewildered. "You guys are overreacting. I'm safe at school. You don't have to protect me like this." She huffs, it's puffed out. "I'm not a 3.5-year-old kid anymore." Her brothers immediately deflate, looking like scolded puppies. All right. We'll just follow you quietly." She groans. "The brothers want to be friends with me if you keep acting like this." Just as she's fuming, a sweet voice calls out, "Longchen Tao." And who is it but the original female lead herself, Murong Wanking, looking like a literal ray of sunshine. Tao Tao's blood runs cold. This is the exact moment from the novel where her brothers were supposed to meet the FL for the first time. The brothers notice her sudden stillness. Is Tao Tao hungry? They fret. "Oh no, I'm fine, promise," she squeaks, trying to appear normal. Wanking approaches with a bright smile, and Tao Tao's internal alarm bells are screaming. But instead of talking to the brothers, Wanking leans down to Tao Tao. "I'm giving the new student representative speech later. I'm a little nervous. Could you help me practice?" Before Tao Tao can even process this, Wanking grabs her hand. She leans in and whispers a savage truth bomb. "What? Do you want to keep being surrounded by your brothers with no freedom at all?" Our girl is shook. She immediately agrees, and the two girls run off, hand in hand. The brothers go into full panic mode. "Hey, where are you taking my sister?" But Tao Tao turns a finger to her lips. "This is a girl's secret. If you follow us, I'll never talk to you again." The threat works perfectly. The three of them slump in defeat, defeated by their own tiny sister. As they walk, Tao Tao realizes with a wave of relief that Wanking doesn't seem interested in her brothers at all. The plot is changing. "Then I'll just call you Wanking, okay?" she asks shyly. They discover they're in the same class, and their faces light up. "That's wonderful!" Tao Tao cheers, thinking to herself how adorable the heroine is up close. Just as an announcement for the opening ceremony begins, Tao Tao clutches a small basket of homemade snacks. Her heart trembles. She's seen this scene before. In her past life, she'd offered snacks just like this, only to be brutally rejected. The memory of her cake being thrown to the ground and being called poor still stings. But this time, Wanking's bright voice cuts through the painful memory. "Tao Tao, can I have one?" Our girl's eyes sparkle with hope. "Oh, of course," she stammers, holding out a cookie. Bing takes a bite, and Tao Tao holds her breath. A rainbow literally explodes behind Wanking. "It's delicious. This is the best cookie I've ever had," she exclaims. Suddenly, all the other kids are crowding around, wanting to try. "I want one," Tao Tao happily shares with everyone, her heart soaring as they all ask to be her friend. She beams, a genuine happy smile on her face. "Thank you, Wanking." Wanking gives a cheerful peace sign and heads off to prepare for her speech. A new friend asks Tao Tao about the scary people from earlier. Tao Tao's sweat drops, thinking of her Secret Service brothers. "Nope, don't know them at all." She lies, laughing it off. What a bunch of tension seekers. She turns to offer her new friend a cookie, but freezes. Standing right in front of her is him, the silver-haired boy. His blue eyes are sparkling with amusement. "Longchen Tao, we meet again." Pure, unadulterated panic. "Back off," she yelps, turning to flee for her life. But he's too fast. He grabs the back of her collar, stopping her dead in her tracks. "Why are you running away?" he asks, his voice laced with a playful menace. She bounces away, trying to laugh it off. "Oh, I didn't notice it was you earlier. Ha ha, what a coincidence." He leans in, his smile turning sharp. "It's not incidents. We're not just in the same school, but the same class, and I've been paying close attention to you." She clutches her basket, her knuckles white with fear. He plucks a cookie from her basket and takes a bite, a thoughtful look on his face. "Your skills are pretty good," he murmurs, his eyes widening slightly. "Oh, this actually tastes this good too." The praise goes straight to her head. "Of course," she boasts proudly. "My cooking skills have getting stronger for more than 10 years. He pauses mid-chew, grabbing more cookies as she tries to push him away. "But how old are you now?" he asks, his eyes glinting, busted. Her heart plummets into her shoes. He just smirks, enjoying her panic. "Crap! I got dizzy from the praise and let it slip," she thinks, mortified. He leans in closer. "Just how old are you really?" he presses. She stammers, "I just misspoke, haha." He's relentless. "Oh, then what's the real situation?" Her mind is racing. He goes for the final blow, his voice a low whisper. "Is it because I pointed out that you're not from this world?" Just as her soul is about to leave her body, the school speakers crackle to life, announcing the start of the ceremony. Saved by the Wanking takes the stage, looking radiant. Tao Tao swoons. Smart, beautiful, no wonder she's the female lead. She shoots a dirty look at the weirdo boy beside her, but as Wanking begins her speech, a horrifying cracking sound echoes from above. A massive lighting breaks loose and plummets directly towards the stage. Wanking! Danger! Tao Tao screams. Her brothers shout warnings and leap into action. They throw themselves in front of Wanking, shielding her from the falling debris. Wanking is safe, but Tao Tao watches the scene unfold with dawning horror. Her brothers, protecting the female lead. The plot from the novel. It happened anyway. All her hard work was for nothing. A cold voice snaps her out of her despair. What's wrong? Is the development different from what you expected? It's him. He's standing right beside her. She whips her head around, her eyes wide with terror. What do you mean? He just smiles, a knowing, almost sad look in his eyes. Some people, some things seem to have been predetermined from the very start. You can't change it. He crosses his arms, his gaze fixed on the scene before them. Accept our fate. Our desperate MC is having a full-on existential crisis, wondering what she's destined for and what she's resigned to. She turns, her expression firm, and confronts the mysterious white-haired boy. I think you're the strange one, she declares. Why are you so curious about my affairs? The boy flinches, his icy composure cracking for just a second. Who are you really? What are you trying to do? He demands, his voice trembling slightly. But our girl, ever the quick thinker, immediately plays it off with a nervous grin. Ha! I was just kidding. Why are you getting so serious? He blinks, completely bewildered, before his face breaks into a charming smile. Don't treat me like an enemy. I came to be friends with you, he says smoothly. But this little nugget is having none of it. Her face scrunches up in the most adorable, savage rejection you've ever seen. Friends? I'm not that believing. No, she thinks, rejection written all over her face. He just chuckles, his smile unwavering. All right, I don't have any ill intentions, he insists. Before she can protest, he places his hands on her shoulders, a mischievous glint in his eyes. He leans in close, whispering for her to look. On the stage, her two brothers are holding hands with the original female lead, Wanking, and then he drops the bomb. His voice is a low, menacing whisper right by her ear. Are you gonna let the plot continue to develop? Panic mode. Activated. Her eyes widen in shock. Plot. He knows about the plot? Could he be a transmigrator too? Her mind is racing. Seeing how on guard he is, she knows she won't get any answers right now. But one thing is crystal clear. I don't care what your goal is, but I will never allow anyone to harm my family, she vows internally. With a newfound fire in her eyes, she clenches her little fist. I refuse to accept this fate. She turns on her heel, done with this chaotic conversation. I'm leaving. I can't be bothered to talk to you, she huffs, storming away. The white-haired boy watches her go, a small, knowing smile playing on his lips. She won't let her family be harmed, huh? Longchen Tao, let's wait and see. If you can really change the ending. Just as our girl is making her escape, she runs right into Wanking, the female lead. Her two brothers, who were with Wanking, are completely shook. Thinking fast, Tao Tao grabs Wanking's arm and scolds her brothers. You're both so clumsy. Be careful not to let Wanking get hurt again. She knows she needs to get Wanking away from them fast. She gives her brothers a grateful smile as the principal announces the assembly is rescheduled due to the accident. The brothers, of course, immediately shout, I'll go too. But our girl isn't having it. She turns into a tiny drill sergeant, ordering her second and third brothers to help the teacher evacuate the other students. You're not allowed to follow us, okay? She commands, but before whisking Wanking off to his office. The doctor checks out the scrape on Wanking's hand and assures them it's nothing serious. Once they're alone, Wanking thanks Tao Tao for staying with her. Our girl feels a pang of guilt and comes clean. I'm sorry, Wanking. I was actually just trying to get my brothers away from you, she confesses. But before Wanking can even react, the door bursts open. Another student rushes in, carrying a girl who sprained her ankle. The nurse rushes to help. That boy, it's her big brother. He spots Tao Tao and immediately goes into panic mode, rushing to her side. What's wrong? Why are you in the nurse's office? He asks, his voice tight with worry. Shikli explains what happened with the stage light. Internally, she's screaming. No way, is Big Brother supposed to meet Wanting now too? Is he also gonna follow the plot? He lets out a sigh of relief. I'm fine, she assures him. He glances over at Wanting and says, good. It seems Miss Wanting also had a close call. It's good that you're alright, and that's it. Girl is completely bewildered. Huh? That's it? She thinks, staring at him with wide, confused eyes. Her confusion turns to shock as he gently takes Wanking's hand. Miss Wanking, does it hurt? Let me help you apply the medicine. Wait a minute, shouldn't he be doting on his little sister right now? Instead, he just gives her a comforting pat on the head. Tao Tao must have been scared too, right? And then it hits her. A wave of relief washes over her. Big Brother didn't fall in love at first sight. Just to be, she asks, Brother, do you want to help Wanking treat her wound? But Wanking politely refuses, saying she's fine and the wound doesn't hurt. Big Brother just smiles and tells Tao Tao not to be nervous. She deflates with a tiny, relieved okay. It's confirmed. He doesn't have any feelings for wonking. But then, a heart-wrenching thought pops into her head. Her eyes dart over to the other side of the room where the nurse is treating the girl with the sprained ankle. Just now, my brother came back with this little girl, she realizes. Could it be? She turns to him. Big brother, where did you just go? He explains that on his way back from the dean's office, he saw a girl about to be hit by a falling tree branch and pulled her to safety. He just didn't expect her to sprain her ankle in the process. The truth slams into her with the force of a freight train. Her brother saved a girl, just not the right girl. The main point of the plot wasn't for her brothers to meet Wonking specifically, it was for them to save someone. By ruining their first meeting, she didn't stop fate. She just forced to find a loophole. Second and third brother still fell into the original plot, but because big brother saved someone else, he broke free. The tangled red thread of his fate snaps. A brilliant, hopeful smile spreads across her face. Maybe she's finally found a way to change their destiny. I've got it, she thinks, a spark of genius in her eyes. The key isn't to stop the plot, but to find a secondary plotline and steer the story away from its original tragic track. Her brother's voice snaps her out of her thoughts. Tao Tao? Why are you spacing out? He asks, gently touching her cheek. Overwhelmed with gratitude and love, she throws her arms around him in a giant hug. Jage, it's all thanks to you, she exclaims. He's completely confused, but our little nugget is already fired up. Now I have a plan, she declares with a determined grin. The Save Gigi project officially begins. After school, we see the white-haired boy, Sekong Yan, walking towards the imposing Sekong residence. Suddenly, his little brother, Ajing, comes running out. Jage, you're finally back, he cries, disappointed he had a stomach ache and missed school. He immediately starts spilling the tea, warning his big brother about our girl, Longchen Tao, who he heard is in their class. The other little brother chimes in. Jage, you have to be careful not to get too close to her. Sekong Yan just calmly says his brother's name, Ajing. The little boy looks up at him with wide, innocent puppy dog eyes. A gentle smile graces Sekong Yan's lips as he pats his head. You're too noisy, he teases. Ajing pouts adorably, and Sekong Yan can't help but think how foolish and naive his little brother is, his emotions so easy to read. He really is a fortunate young master, he thinks wistfully. And here's the tea, besties. It turns out Sekong Yan is also a transmigrator. He's the legitimate son brought into this family years ago to be nothing more than a stepping stone for the story's protagonist, his half-brother Sekong Jing. He was destined to become the villain, fighting his brother for the family fortune. But in the original story, the protagonist always wins. Sekong's original self, Sekong Fei, failed his pursuit, jumped off a building to his death. Absolutely heart-wrenching. Back in the present, Madame Sekong sees him and tells him to go upstairs and do his homework. Ajing immediately begging his mom to let his gauge play with him for a little while, but she gently tells him not to pester his brother. Sekong Yan just gives a polite smile and says he'll go upstairs, walking away from the warm family scene. For a moment, he pauses on the stairs, a look of deep loneliness in his eyes. He watches Ajing happily chatting with his mother and thinks, no wonder Sekong Yan would turn evil. Seeing such a warm scene and thinking about how no one loves him, it's no wonder he would fight Sekong Jing for everything. Later, Ajing peeks into his room, holding a soccer ball and asking him to play. Sekong Yan turns from his desk, a soft expression on his face, asking if his stomach is still sick. Ajing insists he's all better and can go to school tomorrow. Sekong Yan gently shim away to get ready. As the door closes, a sad thought crosses his mind. If they weren't characters in a novel, if they weren't half-brothers destined to be rivals, they could have been really good brothers. He's tried so hard to avoid the plot points, but he felt he was still heading for that same tragic end. But then, an unexpected variable appeared, our girl Longchen Tao. He looks at his list of key plot points and sees how her presence has completely messed things up. The bullying, the sickness, none of it happened like it was supposed to. A slow, dangerous smirk spreads across his face. However, he thinks, his eyes glinting, this transmigration life has become more interesting. Meanwhile, at the Long family mansion, our girl is hard at work. She's hunched over her desk, furiously writing the title for her new master plan, Operation Save Big Brother. She's brimming with confidence, and then she hits a wall. The little nugget slumps over, pencil drooping. She's got a butt. What now? She racks her brain. Maybe she can give her other brothers new hobbies, distract them? But no, she can't watch them 24/7, that's just plain nonsense. In a fit of frustration, she crumples up the paper. Just then, the door creaks open. It's her father. The butler whispers that the young miss has been at her desk all morning. Dad takes the bowl of sweet soup, insisting on bringing it to her himself. Our girl is so startled she nearly jumps out of her chair, yelping, Dad, you really should knock next time before coming into your daughter's room. He approaches with a tray, a knowing look on his face. Tao Tao, what are you doing? He asks, seeing her trying to hide something. She's so afraid of me seeing, he thinks. She descends into adorable panic mode, trying to cover her papers and babbling, and nothing. I'm just doing homework. He leans in, offering to help. Let me have a look. She waves her hands frantically. No, 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 I'm not done yet. Thinking fast, she points to the side of her desk. How about this, Dad? Put the sweet soup on the side. Once I finish writing, I'll drink it all up. He smirks, playing along but thinking. Looks like my little girl's already hiding things from her old man. He asks why she would hide anything, and she launches into the cutest, most flustered explanation about her messy homework. She then latches onto his leg, unleashing her ultimate weapon, maximum cuteness. It works. Clears his throat, completely charmed. It's a shame you don't use your eloquence in debate, he teases, before gently pinching her cheek and telling her to finish up and drink her soup. He leaves with a fond smile, and she cheers. Dad is the best. But outside the door, his smile vanishes. His expression turns dark and suspicious. She's being very strange, he thinks. Could it be? His mind flashes to an image of some slick-looking boy. Oh no. The misunderstanding of the century is happening. He thinks she's met a boy at school. His protective fatherly instincts go into chaotic overdrive. For sure, it must be that annoying little brat bothering her. A menacing, fiery erupts around him. Whoever the brat messing with my daughter is, he's doomed. He immediates an order. Investigate every boy in Taota's class, especially the ones circling around her. Don't late. A single. On fire. His subordinate bows. Yes, sir. Back in her room, our poor heroine is still slumped over her desk, completely out of ideas. Suddenly, a bulb goes off. She sits up, fists clenched with renewed determination. The next day at school, she pulls Sekong Yan aside, wanting to tell him something important. But from the bushes, they're being watched. The butler reports back to her father, a sweat on his brow. Sir is completely furious now, and we see him, his face a mask of pure rage, his eyes glowing with menace. He even made Tao approach him first. That little brat. Oh, this is not going to end well. A handsome boy with striking white hair leans forward, a polite but distant smile on his face. So, Minken, what matter did you come to see me for? He asked. Our girl is completely flustered, her mind racing. Should she just come out with it? Her heart pounds in her chest as she thinks. Should I ask him directly whether he's a transmigrator? Before she can get a word out, he leans in even closer, his blue eyes twinkling with mischief. He clears his throat, a teasing smirk playing on his lips. Could it be that you like? And oh my gosh, our girl's brain short circuits. She internally screams in your dreams. Don't overthink. Could I possibly like you? She physically recoils, her cheeks burning bright red as he just chuckles. Huh? I was only asking if you like the scenery here. He's smooth as silk, the absolute audacity. He then adds with a smug little chin tilt. Although I can understand it. After all, I do have a pretty handsome face. That's it, she snaps. Stop talking nonsense. I have something serious to ask you. But this guy is relentless. He raises an eyebrow, looking amused. Serious? When did our relationship develop to the point of discussing serious matters? Our poor heroine puffs out her cheeks, so frustrated she could pop. You're impossible. I don't want to argue with you, she huffs, turning away. Seeing he's pushed her to the edge, he finally softens, his smile turning genuine. Kind of adorable? All right, I'll stop teasing you. So, what exactly did you want to ask me? Taking a deep breath, she gathers her courage. This is it. Sekong Fei, tell me the truth, she says, her voice low and serious. Her eyes, wide and determined, lock onto his. The plot, fate, and all that. What did you mean? What exactly do you know? He seems genuinely surprised by her intensity. Why are you asking that? He questions, his playful guard dropping. But she's not backing down. Don't pretend. You know the original plot, the key events, and even the ending of my brothers. Her voice trembles as she makes her final accusation. You're not from this world, right? His eyes widen in shock, his confident facade completely shattering. For a second, he's speechless, only managing to stammer out, "You!" A bead of sweat trickles down his temple. He's caught. But just when she thinks she has him, he flips the entire script. Then what about you? He asks, his voice dangerously quiet. He closes his eyes, a slow, knowing smile spreading across his face. When his eyes open again, they're sharp, analytical, and utterly menacing. Longchen, someone who doesn't even exist in the original novel. What exactly are you? Where did you come from? Check, mate. Our girl is floored, pointing a shaky finger at him. A novel? So you are a transmigrator too. He just gives her a cryptic, infuriatingly Kyle. Take a guess. She stomps her foot, completely exasperated. Why you? Then tell me, what's the story in your novel? But he's not giving anything away, crossing his arms stubbornly. I don't trust you. Before I figure you out, I won't tell you anything about myself. He then steers the conversation back, his expression unirritable. So, why did you come looking for me today? She hesitates, her anger deflating into desperation. I want to ask Eva, she admits, knowing she has no other choice. She lays out the heart-wrenching stakes of their suspicion, how their two families are destined for tragedy, unless the main couple gets their happily ever after. So I want you to help me, work with me, and speed up their relationship progress, she pleads, her eyes full of hope. He just looks down, considering her words. Speed up the progress? Yes, she insists, her passion renewed. Clenching her little fists, she shares her adorable dream, and our families will finally be able to get along peacefully. She immediately jumps into planning mode. So, tomorrow, can you help me bring Sekong Jing to the school cafeteria? I'll bring Wanking over. But his cold response shatters her hopeful bubble. Why should I help others? Her face falls, her big eyes blinking in confusion. What? He leans in again, his smile turning downright wicked. You never considered that I might be the main villain of the story. What should you do then? He whispers, his voice sending a chill down her spine. Our little nugget is completely bewildered, frozen in place by his words. He pulls back with a sigh. You don't even understand the situation and you're already trying to rope someone into cooperating, he says, shaking his head. You're doing something very dangerous here, Miss Longchen Tao. With a final smug look over his shoulder, he turns and begins to walk away, leaving her to process the terrifying thought. Is he a villain? She watches him go, biting her lip in panic mode. No! She can't let him leave like this. Cupping her hands around her mouth, she yells with all her might. I don't believe you're a villain. Her voice echoes in the quiet air. You'll definitely help me, right? He stops walking. The camera zooms in. Wait, is that a tear? A single, perfect tear escapes his eye and traces a path down his cheek. He stays silent, his back to her, leaving our desperate MC utterly confused. The distance between them feels like a million miles. As he finally walks away for good, she's left wondering, what is his story? But wait, they weren't alone. Hidden in the distance, one of her overprotective brothers witnessed the whole exchange. His face contorts with rage, a menacing red aura flaring around his clenched fist. That brat is unforgivable, he seethes. That night at the sprawling Longchen estate, our girl trudges through the door, completely defeated. I'm exhausted, but her gloomy mood vanishes when she sees a literal mountain of beautifully wrapped presents. Her eyes sparkle. Wow, who are these for? Her dad, looking impossibly handsome on the sofa, glances up. Tao Tao's back, he murmurs, but before telling her, they're all for you. Do you like them? She is bewildered. But my birthday already passed, and it's not a holiday. Why? In a quick flashback, we see her sweet older brother researching ways to dote on a daughter online, and deciding with grim determination, let's do this. Oh! Back in the present, she clutches a new bunny plushie, her head tilted. Did something happen at home? She asks shrewdly. Her dad totally flinches. He tries to laugh it off, but he's a terrible liar. No, nothing. I just wanted to give you some gifts, haha. Our girl's imagination goes into overdrive. She hugs her bunny tight, her eyes welling up with tears. Dad, you're not planning to send me away. His jaw drops and he waves his hands frantically in panic. And no, why would I? Before he can explain, the front door bursts open and the rest of the brothers stampede in, each holding more gifts. It's absolute adorable chaos as they all try to give her their presents, bickering over who got the best one. Dad just covers his face, groaning at the chaotic scene, but our heroine is beaming, her arms full. I like them, I like all of them. She cheers, her heart swelling with a warmth that feels so real. As the boys are shooed upstairs to do their homework, she watches them go, a sad look on her face. A heavy thought weighs on her, they show well. But I can't even protect them. I'm so useless. But then, her expression hardens with resolve. No matter what happens, I'll definitely protect them. She turns to her dad with a bright smile. Dad, I'm going to do my homework too. But as he watches her little figure trudge up the stairs, his smile fades. He knows she's still upset. She must have been wronged by some little boy at school, he mutters, his expression turning icy. The butler leans in, and Dad gives a chilling order. It's actually his son, prepare the car. I'm going to pay someone a visit. The scene cuts to a lavish banquet at the Sekong Group building. Just as the head of the family is giving a speech, the doors slam open. In walks Dad, flanked by bodyguards, his presence radiating pure menace. Sekong Qing, get out here now. The room goes silent. Sekong King is furious. Longchen Lai? I don't recall inviting you, he sneers. Dad stalks towards him, ignoring the gasps from the crowd. He gets right in Sekong King's face. Do you know what your precious son has done? He snarls. He grabs the man by his suit, his eyes burning with rage. The two fathers retreat to a private room to talk. Dad gets straight to the point with an icy warning. Don't let certain unruly boys bother someone else's precious daughter all day. It ruins everyone's mood. Sekong King smirks, finally understanding. So my son is pestering your precious daughter, He swirls the wine in his glass, looking amused. My son is quite handsome. It's normal for girls to follow him around. Dad scoffs, You think my daughter would follow your son? Stop joking. But then, a flicker of doubt crosses his mind as he remembers seeing them together. He shakes it off. Even so, that brat actually made Tao Tao sad. If you can't discipline him, I don't mind stepping in to teach your son. The nerve on this guy. Sekong King just laughs. Should I send my son to your house? You've raised so many sons. I'm sure you're very experienced. That's the last straw. stands up, his voice dangerously low. I've warned you. Handle this yourself. He storms out of the room, leaving Sekong King alone. The man takes a slow sip of his wine, a sinister smile spreading across his face. It seems Longchen Lai has gained a new weakness.